Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Just Cuz, episode 366. Now, for something completely different. This is our this is our theme show for this week. And as you could tell, it is the Monty Python Flying Circus theme show. I guess there was some anniversary. I'm sure somebody. I haven't been keeping track, but there has been some anniversary concerning Monty Python. So it was suggested that we do a theme show about it, and we are doing it. I am Raymond. I am the author of the Dolphin Wars trilogy and the ruler of the greatest pod on YouTube. I would like to welcome you all. If you like these theme shows, if you like the interviews, the readings, the comic reviews, anything that King Dolphin TV has to offer, please like and subscribe to the channel. And right now, please, hold on a second. I got to check something out here. All right, names. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and especially watch the videos. I'm getting close on watch hours to hitting the magic number of 3,000. So please keep watching them and get us to 3,000. And if you are so inclined, please consider putting some ducats in the bucket and help out the channel, help keep the lights on here. And especially what FKHC says, if you don't want a disembodied pink foot to step on you, pay here so Snorty and Tripe won't have that happen to you. Yeah, you got to watch out for these two shysters. You have got to watch out for them. They are just out to get the ducats. You know, it's like Harvey says, plenty wampum sabi. These guys are saying, plenty ducats, sabi. Give us those ducats. We don't care how many, just give them up. Yeah, do you really want these three coming at you? Big Trike, Big Snort, and Dipsy. Well, actually, tonight it's Colby. Strike, Snort, and Colby out to shake you down. So, all right. So, we will get started by welcoming everybody who is here. And there's Tipstream. And let's get things going here. Snort says, especially Colby, the little terror. Yeah. Yep, the little terror. Okay, so who do we have on right now? As guests, we have the great Phantom Outsider. Hello, Fanty. We have the great Swift -1. So we've got those two visiting the chat. And now we've got to introduce, I will introduce my lifeguard corps. I'm handling this one right now because Sandra, our producer, is doing a special project, and she wants to get it done as soon as possible so she can free up the table. We've got lurking because she's facing a power outage. We got Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior. She's had a power outage since 3 a.m., so she's not going to be on today. And I know Agent Pepsi 1 popped in and will be probably coming on later on in a moment. We've got the great FKHC 2005, maker of Trike and Snorty collections, and all around good guy. He was one of the ones who came up with the theme for this episode. We have the wonderful Legatus Legionii. Hello, sir. Glad you can make it here. And finally, but not leastly, because he can't be leastly, one, he's probably about 8 foot, and 2, he crunches. When he hugs you, he crunches. We've got oh, I like this. I like this a lot when it's all me and none of the dolphin, except this bozo right there. Snort up pass. Q bar. Dot scream. Hashtag rah. Oh, and I put the other two in hibernation today. I want it all about me. And now for something completely different. A bear with 3 buttocks. A bear with 3 buttocks. That's cool. All right, Snort, let's get going here. All right. And hello, Agent Pepsi 1. I sent you the link. Okay, I don't see you yet, so I just make sure I sent you the right one. Let's see here. Double check, make sure I sent you the right one. Okay. So no, I don't. Is everybody hearing me okay? Agent Pepsi 1. All right, let's see here. Agent Pepsi 1 will be on momentarily. I did send you the right link. Let's see. I just double checked. Oh, I am for just notice right now we are going through a thunderstorm. That's probably why Tim is not responding. And but yeah, I can hear the thunder outside, and I'm just getting ready. I've got everything on standby in case I have to go mobile. Only thing about going mobile is I lose all the memes and stuff like that. And I found some. Oh, okay. 11 feet on the hind legs. Whoa. Okay. Let's see. right. Okay, let's see here. While Agent Pepsi 1 is trying to get on, let me go through the chat. Snort is wearing Snoop plugs for tonight's stream because Wendy has no power. And it's saying, just got off the phone with the electric company. They said 6 more hours before power is restored. No warm shower for me today. God, I stink. And Legatus is offering the sponge bath, and I said the same thing. Snort. Wendy's warning Snort about sniffing too hard, and Wendy's saying, "Nah, no spongy bath." Even if it's Jimmy giving this the sponge bath, and we only have a hot tub. It's not hot. Oh, hey. Nothing wrong with a cold tub. Okay. Legatus Legionary asks for the pod. Do you consider the pre-Monty Python movie Jabberwocky as part of Python lore, as it has several cast members and the humor Python would later make famous? I never saw Jabberwocky. So anybody would want to say something about it over there? You can't. Where Raymond goes boom, is he throwing the holy hand grenade of Antioch? And yes, I said it, so here we go. All right, we're back. We got these gutter guard things, and for some reason it's just not catching all of it. So we've got this big waterfall by the gutter going into our deck. Hello, Agent Pepsi 1. How you doing? Agent Pepsi 1. Agent Pepsi 1. They've given you a number and taken away your name.
I love that song.
Maybe I'll sing it the full thing tonight. Welcome. And I see you've had power issues.
Oh my God! Yeah, the power went out last night during Friday Night Frolics. And it didn't. Well, by the time I got up this morning, it was back on. But you know how long it was out, and it's been flickering all day. Yeah, they had a bunch of tornadoes go through the area yesterday with these storm front. You know that might be what you're getting today, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad last night.
Yeah. Let's see. This is what we're getting now. We had a thunder. Let's see. We had a thunderstorm warning, and it was supposed Oh, okay. The warning just ended, but now we're getting heavy rain.
Yeah, I mean I mean it was pouring last night, and then I mean where we live here. mm, Sometimes I mean you get these thunderstorms and there's nothing.
Mhm.
And then at other times the neighbor farts and everything goes out.
Yeah.
So yeah, but last night it was just coming down. It was bad. We had a supercell come across here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I know about I guess it's about 30 miles to the south of here there is a big nuclear power plant.
Mm.
So I mean there's all kinds of high tension lines.
Mm-hmm.
I understand some of those were damaged yesterday with the storm.
Ouch. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but did you hear about France and was it Spain, France, and Portugal?
No.
Yeah, they had a power. Spain had a power outage that took out the entire Spanish power grid.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not
it's some,
good.
and there was some stupid. I mean, there was some stupid stuff. Oh, there was like this little fire in France that caused all of this.
that
But yeah,
sounds like um the big power outage in 2003.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they actually believe that the people are going to believe that. Oh, that this fire in France caused this giant power outage in Spain and Portugal and southern France. I
Hmm.
mean, come on now. I mean, that's just plain stupid.
That's what we've got right now. We are okay. You see Hagerstown and Frederick. We are we're about where those two lightning bolts are, south of Hagerstown.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're like right in the spot of a big a red blotch. And if you could hear, since my microphone is so good, you could probably hear the waterfall coming off my gutters onto my onto my deck.
Yeah, I'm hearing something.
Yeah, that is the rain coming off my deck. So yeah, we got a lot of rain coming in, but it was really weird. I was upstairs and I could hear that we had the bathroom window open, and I can hear
Hmm.
the just a constant thunder. It's like it did not stop. It was like I said, "Oh boy, is that a tornado or is that just constant thunder?"
Yeah, but a tornado sounds more like a freight train, though.
What Sandra said. So, well, at first it sounded like it, but it just kept going and um, just sounded like just a constant thundering, and it went for about 5 minutes. So,
Yeah, I mean, we had that last night. No, I bet you I heard the tornado last night,
hmm
but it didn't strike anywhere here in Vicksburg. It was just south of here.
hmm
But yeah, it went and went and went. It's just, I mean, it's incredible. My backyard turned into like a pond.
mm. And it figures I just put down some to repair a few uh, doggy holes in my lawn. I decided to put some grass down,
Hmm.
and it's like, grass seed down, and it's
Right.
like, oh boy, now that's an invite for the rain to come and wash it all away.
I'd rather have rain than a drought, but
Yeah.
and the bad thing is Stephen dug all these drainage, this drainage stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had water come across our patio. I mean, there was like an inch of water flowing across the patio, and the drainage ditch was overflowing.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy, that's not good.
So yeah, and thankfully the house sits up a little higher,
Yeah.
so we don't get any water in the house, but everything was overflowing, and where our air conditioner is outside,
Mm-hmm.
and that whole area was like underwater. The air conditioner was under the base of it was like under like an inch of water.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
That's
but
not
thankfully, like I said, it sits up high enough, so I don't think there's anything there that'll really bother it.
good. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now that's something he's going to do this summer. He's going to deepen the ditch a bit,
Okay.
so hopefully that will solve the problem.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. So
Oh, hey, I wanted to ask, hey, for the next episode, that's on Wednesday. We do the reading.
yeah,
Okay, so it's on Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock your time.
Okay,
You're good to go?
yeah, I should be. Thursday I have things planned, and I mean this is like the busiest time of the school year.
Yeah. No, this
So,
is Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday should be just fine.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, let's see. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, Pudgy's here.
Hey, Pudgy.
Pudgy!
It's Mr. Raymond time. 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 It's Mr. Raymond time on King Dolphin TV. Yay! Hi, Mr.
Hey,
Hi, Agent 51.
hey, Pudgy.
Hey, Pudgy, how you doing?
Pudgy good, live, unedited, uncensored, unvarnished. It's Mr. Raymond on King Dolphin TV.
All right. Yes, it's good. It's good to have Pudgy back with his live uncensored and the Mr. Raymond time. Good to see you, my friend. You said you had power outage as well.
Oh, yeah, it was really, really, really bad. See, the good part is that Pudgy lives in an underground house, so Pudgy was busy playing on the computer and talking to the bunny rabbits, and Pudgy, was just bouncing around and playing, and then all of a sudden, everything went green outside, and Pudgy's like, uh-oh. And then Pudgy looked out Pudgy's window, and the skies turned black, and Pudgy's like, uh-oh. And then all the birdies started flying out of the trees and trying to land on the ground, and Pudgy's like, uh-oh. And then the wall of water hit. And and Pudgy couldn't see. It was like somebody turned on a pressure washer, and the leaves were bouncing off the grounds. Even the ones from the fall that don't move around because they've been smashed down into the dirt. They were flying around, and Pudgy's like, uh-oh. And then Pudgy saw Cobalt fly out of a tree when his tree snapped. And Pudgy's like, uh-oh. And then Pudgy through the high winds, and all the bushes bent down at a 90 degree angle, and then the wire wheel snapped, and then the wire wheel went flying down the river, and Pudgy's like, wow, and thunder and lightning and hail and everything, and Pudgy's like, oh jeez, and then eventually it was all done, and like right before the storm, it was real hot and humid, and Pudgy's like, oh, Pudgy's just going inside. It's a good thing Pudgy did go inside. So after everything was done, it was like 50-something degrees out there, and Pudgy's like, when the temperature drops more than 30 degrees in the storm, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so Pudgy, it took a couple days because A, we didn't know where the wire wheel went. B, the squirrels that run the cell phone tower, well, not only did it get struck by lightning multiple times, the big dishes that connect to the internet, they too wound up in other places. So it took a long time to get the cell tower working. So,
Cool.
so Pudgy didn't even have telephone or internet access until
Ooh.
like close to midnight. First by that time, Pudgy's just going to bed. So yeah, then the next day woke up and the bunny's like, "Hey Pudgy, we want to watch the Mr. Raymond show." So Pudgy turned the computer on and clicked. Nothing happened because there was no power. And Pudgy's like, "Uh oh." So then then the grand search began. So Pudgy got, thank goodness Pudgy's steamship runs on wood. It doesn't run on electric or gasoline. So we got the steamship working, and it went down the river, down, across the lake, across, all the way to Beavertown. And then we met Harold, and nobody used Harold's nickname. He's sensitive. So Harold Beaver told us, yeah, we saw a water wheel flying over Beavertown that was heading towards Turtletown. And Pudgy's like,
ooh.
Wow. So we got back on the steamship along with Harold Beaver, went all the way down to Turtletown, and we met Zeke the snapping turtle, and Zeke was like, "Hello, Pudgy. Why did you throw a wire wheel at us?" And Pudgy's like, Pudgy did have a choice. It snapped off the axle shaft and flew on the wind. And then he's like, "Oh, that explains a lot." We also found this big white circle thingy, and a bunch of squirrels showed up. And Pudgy's like, "Yeah, that's part of the cell phone tower too." So, we loaded up the wire wheel, sailed back up the river past Beavertown. Harold had business in Friendship Town, so he rode alone on the ride. Plus, he was holding onto the wire wheel. And then once we got up to where the wire wheel power plant is, then the larger animals showed up, and Cobalt and Mr. Bear and Mr. Bobcat and a couple other groundhogs, and every time the groundhogs show up, it's always the same thing. "Hey, Pudgy, we want to talk to you about our flat tax proposal." And Pudgy's like, "For the last time, there's no taxes in Friendship Town." Pudgy doesn't care. You can make the taxes flat. It doesn't matter. Taxes are 0% as it is. And well, if we make them flatter, we can stimulate economic activity. And Pudgy's like, "They're already 0. You can't make them go lower." And they're like, "Well, we have an idea about that." And Pudgy's like, "Just get the wire wheel running." So eventually the power plant got turned back on, and the power is working again. Pudgy has a little teeny tiny solar cell, which is enough to sort of charge the phone, but that's about it. And the bunny rabbits are like, "Turn on the Mr. Raymond show." And Pudgy's like, "Well, Pudgy's only have enough power for the Mr. Fetch show." Like, but we want to watch the Mr. Raymond show. And Pudgy's like, "Well, Mr. Fet's nice." And they're like, "No, we want to watch the Raymond show." And so Pudgy turned on the Mr. Raymond show, but then the battery went dead again. So it was a very good thing once the power got restored. And that's the reason why, if you're not already subscribed to Mr. Raymond here on King Dolphin TV, you should subscribe to Mr. Raymond. And now it's time for Agent Pepsi 1's epic tale of stories.
I can't beat that. Let's go to the let's all
go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get some fishy treats.
Oh, yum. Snort saying this is all sounding like an ugly preview for hurricane season here. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Wendy's saying we had nasty lightning storms with multiple strikes at 3 a.m. on a nearby relay, which caused an explosion. That had us wide awake. The hospital was running on generators until a couple hours to go. Phantom Outsider is saying, "I keep telling you, Snortapoopus, whenever a major storm forms, get up here and fly counterclockwise to lessen its effect, or get Mini Snort to give you a Moab. It's non-nuke, but will vaporize everything in a half-mile radius. Let's see if it will help either collapse the storm wall or lessen the amount of water the storm is driving. My theoretical preventions aren't going to do themselves. Good point, Phantom.
Well, there's always option C as well, which is Sandra makes pepper steak and then gives it the mini snort. And Mini Snort builds up a sufficient gas charge, and then Mr. Raymond holds up Mini Snort to the storm with a Zippo lighter, and then gives Mini Snort a sneeze, and that Elon guy had a flamethrower. Mr. Raymond's got the mega thrower.
I like that idea, and I know where Pudgy is. Cobalt is in the background. Hello, Cobalt. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. So let's see. Snort says, hello, Pudgy. He says, unbelievable. There's this footage I've saw on YouTube, polar bear chasing. Cousin Bjorn. Right from an Army engineering facility, huh? And you could still hear the generators, but we had power at the time.
Yeah, it's funny, Mr. Raymond. There's this one human house that's nearby to Pudgy's forest that's still sort of standing. All the other ones got sucked into the earth from mine subsidence, which is a western Pennsylvania sort of thing. There's mines everywhere. But there's a mine running under Pudgy's forest, which was in a Pudgy story. But so the one house has a generator, and we don't know how. But somehow the generator turned on and all the lights turned on, and Pudgy's like, "Okay, maybe we could go over to that house, to hook up the Pudgy computer, and start doing Pudgy shows." Yeah, so Mr. Bear wandered over there with Mr. Elk, and they're like, "Pudgy, there's a reason why that house still has power. It's because the generator set the interior on fire, and so the entire house was burning from the inside out. It's not electrical sparks that you saw.
God.
It's because the house was burning down." And it was also a good thing because they said it smelled a lot like methane. And Mrs. Cow was like, "Will you stop blaming me for everything?" And they're like, "No, it really does smell like methane." Well, so they looked inside and yeah, it was one of those houses, that used to be on the television shows, where it was like stacked from floor to ceiling, and there was a little teeny tiny hedgehog path to crawl through the wreckage and the debris, and a nice psychologist lady would show up and say, "Ethel, you have a problem. We really need to clean out your house. You're gonna get hurt." And she's like, "I need this newspaper from 1943. It's core to my being." Yeah, it was one of those houses. So basically, when the generator did kick on, it didn't kick on from the natural gas in the pipe. It just kicked on from the methane that was being generated by the garbage pile, and then it caused an electrical short and then burned down the interior. So the good news is that the fire finally burned itself out. The rest of the house collapsed in on itself, and Mrs. Cow went over there and she's like, "Moo!" And Pudgy's like, "There's no reason to use that sort of language." And she's like, "Oh, moo, 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 moo." And Pudgy's like, "Yeah." And that's the reason why you do not you do not tell a lady cow what you think of the status of things. They have their own opinions, and if you tick them off enough, then Mr. Bull shows up, and Mr. Bull's like, "Hey, you talking to my honey?" And Pudgy's like, "No."
Let's see. Wendy says, "I'm hoping since the power, they'll soon start repairs. Powers have priority." Snort crosses his paws for you. Phantom says, "Why doesn't Pudgy have an hydroelectric generator in the river or a wheel with a generator the bunnies can run on and power the electronics?" So the bunnies run on the wheel.
All right, so the good news is, yes, we already have one. The bad news is that the windstorm was so bad it snapped off the shaft and flew down to Turtletown. Also, one time Pudgy tried, during a drought, because you need water to turn the water wheel. So one time Pudgy asked the bunnies to run on the wheel, and they were running, they were having fun, and then someone got it turned into a race because they wanted to spin the wheel faster, and then the one bunny fell forward and one bunny fell backwards, and then they had boo-boos, and then Mama Bunny shows up and she's like, why do you have my children running on the water wheel? And Pudgy's like, it wasn't Pudgy's idea. They wanted to run on the water wheel, and they're like, oh sure. And you're probably broadcasting on Twitch and twitch.tv/Pudgy Hedgehog again. And Pudgy's like, yeah, Pudgy was broadcasting on Twitch, but Pudgy was running off of backup batteries in the solar cell. The bunnies were just running for fun, and then Mama Bunny said, no more running on the water wheel. And then she took the bunny brothers back and patched up their boo-boos and gave them a lollipop, and then they're running. And then they were running around, hopping around, and up and down the bunny trail, and then they bounced into Peter Cottontail, and Peter is like, "Wait, why am I in this story?" And Pudgy's like, "Well, because you own the bunny trail." And he's like, "Well, yes, I do. And are you gonna pay the carrot tax?" And the bunnies are like, "Oh, wait, what carrot tax?" And they're like, for hopping up and down the bunny trail. How do you think I maintain the copyrights to this song? And they're like, but we don't have any carrots. And he's like, oh, so do I need to build Friendship Town? And Pudgy's like, well, Pudgy's got a great idea, Peter. Go down to the groundhog burrow and talk to them about the flat tax proposal, and it'll keep they'll come up with a way to pay for the bunny trail tax. So 4 hours later, Pierre comes hopping up into Friendship Town and says, Pudgy, don't you ever do that again. My head hurts. There's no way that I can do a reciprocal trade toll on that road. No one will pay 14%. And Pudgy's like, Pudgy keeps telling them, there's no taxes in Friendship Town. We use an acorn-based economy system. And as long as the squirrels don't eat the acorns, we have enough money supply. And Pudgy's like, one of these days, Pudgy's got to get a better money supply. Maybe we got to switch to like River Rocks or something. But and that's the reason why you should subscribe to King Dolphin TV here on YouTube. Mr. Raymond, go.
Okay. Wendy says, my mom has power, so we're going to take the dogs and go over there. Everyone take care and be safe. Okay, Wendy, you take care. And we will... Snort says, have a nice shower when you get there. FKHC says, if a cow gets in trouble with driving, do they get a moving violation? Oh,
hey,
I'm sure
good one.
That was a good one. Snort says, that's a very moving story. And they're both going to the pit. Nah, those were good ones. Those were kitty table worthy. All right. Now, okay, let's see. But labor exploitation is what bunnies are for. That and, well, what the joke says. Snorter Pooper uses them for because stuff don't stick to their fur, so Snort uses them. Okay, let's get on with Monty Python. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, there was a bunny in Monty Python.
Yes. I've got a meme up for that.
That explains why that sometimes when Pudgy sees bunny rabbits, there's chocolate ones that hop by.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they were hanging out with Snort the Poopus.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. I know.
Yeah, then they gotta go hop in the river and clean off.
Let's see.
And there's Larry Bunny. He's got teeth really, really long and sharp. It can fly far distances and blood red eyes and everyone's like, well, why does the bunny rabbit have blood red eyes? Well, the problem is he took way too much glaucoma medication. We keep telling him, don't use that many drops, and he's like, but it feels so good, and then it comes up, and he's got the red eyes. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, and hi Larry.
There's Larry. It actually said the meme. I lowered it. The meme says, there it goes. pet owners. He doesn't bite the pet. And now for something completely different. And Tim says, knee. You know, where is the knee?
Knee.
Yeah. Where is knee from?
That's from Monty Python. It's the knights who say knee.
Oh, the knights who say knee. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, they were the ones that asked for the shrubbery. Ta-da!
And, oh, thank you, Tim. Oh, and she left before I had a chance to say thank you, Wendy, for the generous tip you sent yesterday. I really appreciate both tips. Hopefully that'll keep the channel going. Thank you both, Wendy and FKHC. I meant to say thank you. But we got stuck in some, oh God, I have to say it, rabbit holes.
Well, rabbit holes are fine. It's whenever you get stuck in the groundhog hole, that means either you're in a timeshare presentation or the groundhogs are talking about their tax theory again, and Pudgy's like, oh, will you stop it? Pudgy's gonna send him over to Agent Pepsi 1's classroom, and whenever the kids are bad, the groundhogs are gonna be like, okay, boys and girls, it's time to talk about the reason why that we need to balance the taxes by offsetting the profit loss ratios, and everyone in the Agent Pepsi 1 class are like, Herr Groundhog, it's German class.
Yeah, but I actually talk about history and math and all kinds of other things as well. So they're always bad.
Yeah, and then for some reason the groundhogs are talking. They're using the lyrics from Rammstein's "Du Hast," and Agent Pepsi 1 is like, okay, well at least it's German now. It doesn't make any sense for the lesson plan, but go. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
That probably sounds about right? The Agent Pepsi.
Yeah, but I think I also got the reputation for ruthlessness yesterday.
What?
I told this one boy. He goes, when can I do my oral presentation? I said, don't worry about it. He said, okay. How about the final exam? I said, don't worry about it.
Uh-oh.
He said, what do you mean? You don't want me to do either? I said, no. I said, it doesn't really matter because if you get 100 on both, you still have failed the class. Yeah, so the next thing I know, his mom showed up. And I handed her all his paperwork.
Oh.
And she said, is there anything you can do? I said, no. I said, there is absolutely nothing I can do for him. Yeah, she left. She was not too happy.
Well, hopefully not at him.
She was
not happy with me.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because as you know, it's always the teacher's fault. It's never the little munchkin who has an IQ of 4 and rocks in his head.
Yeah, I mean, IQ of 4, I think for him is a little much. No, actually, he's quite smart. He just refuses to apply himself. I mean, he really does. He sleeps in class. He goofs off. He never studies. And, I just let him do, and he gets his 20s and 30s. And yesterday, the hammer just came down.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Phantom is going to see this tomorrow. Phantom Entertainment, the Monty Python and the Holy Grail 50th anniversary. Oh, that's cool.
Pudgy remembers Cowball. He used to have the official anniversary edition of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and on the back cover it said, "It it has a glorious 3 seconds of more content, and it was remastered in glorious mono-aural audio.
Mm.
And Pudgy saw the 3 seconds, and Pudgy's like, they added one extra part to the credits, and it was funny. It was like, at the very end, it's like, this is the extra content. You're welcome.
That's no.
That movie is so stupid, but it's so funny.
Which one is this?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You know,
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those movies. It's like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. They're cinematic masterpieces. They're so perfect on their own that you don't ever need to do a sequel or a remaster or anything.
Yeah.
It's the type of movie you turn it on and Doomcock even gets quiet. He doesn't have anything to complain about. And then you see the steam form out of his mask because he really wants to say the F word, but he can't say the F word because the movie's good.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but all the Monty Python stuff is kind of stupid, but that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
It's just plain stupidity. But hey, and if you were going to compare that to other like stupid 80s movies, I saw one the other day. I hadn't seen in maybe 20 years, Iron Eagle.
I hated that movie.
That was so incredibly dumb. I mean, it was so mind-bogglingly stupid. Jesus.
And the first one is actually pretty good. You turn it on, and every Air Force person, including Mr. Raymond, is probably going, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Louis Gossett Jr., you're wrong, you did this wrong, but at the same time, you watch the entire thing, and it's pretty good. You know which Iron Eagle is really, really dumb? Iron Eagle 2.
Okay.
That one is really bad. Yeah, there's a second one, and they didn't get Louis. Well, they're working with the Russians, and it doesn't make any sense. And for some reason, there's a tank battle in it. And Pudgy's like, get to the aircraft.
I didn't even see.
It's like that stupid twerp in it. He suddenly knows how to fly an F-16. Of course he does.
Yeah.
I mean, how dumb do they think audiences are? This is just so
if it's
stupid.
If it sells movies, they think the audience is very, very stupid.
Oh my God. I mean, it was so incredibly dumb.
Hello, Fez. He said.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Mr. Raymond.
Hello, Fez, who says, hail and hello to all you Python people. Not sure if I could stay long as my nephew is loading up stuff to sell and may need me to help deliver. All right. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with 80s movies. A lot of them, they have sort of weak premises.
Sort of? Okay.
Well, sort of or really. But here's the thing. They're consistent. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's a story.
Oh my God, they're consistently stupid, yes.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing, Agent Pepsi One. You turn it on and it makes sense. It might be completely stupid. You might be yelling at the television set the entire time, but it makes sense. What doesn't make sense is when you watch a modern movie and it's like, okay, we're going to start at the end and then go to the middle and then go to the beginning and then go back to the end and it's jumping around and nothing makes sense. And for some reason, that one lady gets all the lines and the one that actually is actually supposed to do something, he's got 3 seconds of actual screen time, the part that makes the movie actually understandable. Then they cut that part out, and then it makes absolutely no sense. And then all of a sudden, Rachel Ziegler shows up singing Snow White tunes for some reason. and Pudgy's like, but what does this have to do with the documentary on George Patton? Snow White is not in this movie, and then when they released the collector's edition, they put that part back in, and it explains why Snow White appeared. And Pudgy's like, why did you cut that part out? That's the thing that makes the story.
Yeah, but I mean, there's something to be said about 80s movies. You didn't have these anorexic supermodels in like 5-inch stiletto heels, snacking around
Yes.
250-pound buff guys. You know it's not going to work.
Yeah,
You know,
the ladies actually looked normal back then. It's like, you know, like
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I mean, if you watch an 80s movie, I mean, they look normal, they act normal. I mean, it's if you watch crap like that last Wonder Woman movie, oh my God, I can't unsee it. It was so incredibly dumb.
Wait,
I didn't see it.
You mean Wonder Woman 84?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. I mean, Raymond, you were so lucky not to see it. That movie was so incredibly dumb.
Yeah, Pudgy fell asleep during that movie, and then Pudgy asked Cobalt how was it, and Cobalt's like, Pudgy hopes they never do another Wonder Woman movie ever again.
Oh, they're actually planning it.
You know, I mean, if they would do a real Wonder Woman movie, I mean, that lady that plays Wonder Woman, what's her name? Gal Gadot,
Gal
something
Gadot.
like that. I mean, she's a fine actress. I mean, even she said the movie
Pudgy
was
wants
stupid.
Linda Carter.
Yeah.
Pudgy Linda Carter's like 80 years old.
She could still do it. And here's the thing. Because in the Wonder Woman comics, eventually Princess Diana becomes Queen of Themyscira, and they have her daughter as the new Wonder Woman. It's 100% doable.
Okay, I mean, it would be much better if they would have like Darth Tasha.
Oh, Darth Tasha.
Yeah.
And she's the antagonist. She is the antagonist. And she like enslaves people. She will do my will. Okay, Darth Tasha, I will do your will. And of course, I have my butler, Darth Vader.
And Snore the Poopa says, "We not try a holiday in Sweden this year? See the lovely lakes, the wonderful telephone system, and many interesting furry animals, including the majestic moose."
Oh, yeah. The
Moose.
Moose.
Hey, Pudgy, could you come down here and bring your bunny wheel? Because the power is flickering right now again.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Pudgy can use the catapult, but here's the problem, Agent Pepsi. Given wind resistance and general storms in the area, you're gonna have to go to Missouri to get it.
Oh. Hello, Max Redstone. There's stupid, and then there's stupid, and then there's most stupid. Whoa. Now that is stupid.
Hey, I want to nominate the stupidest 80s movie, and this is even worse than any of the Iron Eagle movies. See, I thought there was only one. Have anybody seen Megaforce?
No.
Pudgy loves Megaforce.
Oh my God, Pudgy! Oh.
That movie's great.
That movie is so amazingly dumb. It's so stupid.
And the best part about the movie, is the flying motorcycle at the end of it. But the two guys that were the pilots for the C-130, they actually were Air Force retired Air Force people, and they were just at a bar outside of Nevada, and the movie producers walked up and said, "Hey, we're looking for pilots for a movie." And basically, you just have to fly a C-130 out to Nevada, land, sit with the engines running for a while, and then take off again. And they're like, "Sure, we'll do it." They got paid with a yummy breakfast, and a yummy lunch and a yummy dinner and about $1,000. And all they had to do was just fly an airplane for 2 hours. And they're like, this is the best side gig ever.
Okay, I mean, be out of it may, but still.
And then they watched the movie and they're like, wait, Barry Bostwick from Rocky Horror is in this movie? Oh no, what type of movie is this? Here's the worst part about Megaforce. It's like that stupid thumb kiss thingy. Pudgy doesn't know why they keep doing it.
Yeah, they have these little motorcycles, these tiny little rockets. It said that they were like destroying these tanks with them. I said, are you insane? People believe this crap? Jesus.
That was a movie that they never made a sequel to because A, it bombed at the box office, and yes, Pudgy said it, bomb.
Oh no!
And boom. Yeah, the best part about Megaforce is the soundtrack. It was done by 707. Dun, dun, Megaforce! Dun, 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 dun.
Barry Bostwick played George Washington in a miniseries, Much of the Zen. I'm trying to get us back into our, it. I had a meme about a rabbit. Let me go to hold on.
Yeah, sorry, Pudgy sort of veered off along with Agent Pepsi 1 in the 80s movies. We gotta get back to the 70s. And Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And Pudgy was watching the news and they kept talking about something in the 70s called stagflation. And Pudgy's like, wow. And then Pudgy remembers something that Cobalt used to watch. There were these movies about deer, stag films or something. And Pudgy's like, and Pudgy's like, hey, Cobalt, come on. Pudgy watched that movie too. He's like, no, Pudgy, you gotta go to bed.
Hey, you know what Dirty Harry said about President Carter?
What?
He said a man has to know his limitations.
I like that. I like that picture.
Oh Jesus, that's from Dirty Harry.
I
that's a New Yard flag.
Yeah, it's just a harmless little bunny. Let's see. Squirrel Stream, coconut horses, European swallows. Snort says, nice bunny.
Are you saying that coconuts are migratory? No, they can be carried. The average European swallow does not have the average range, speed, velocity to sustain lift to carry a coconut. Well, oh wait, Pudgy forgot the rest of that saying.
Your mother was a hamster and your father stunk of elderberries.
Yeah. Go back to Britain, you French or you English tin niggets.
Let's see. There is. There's a good one. Oh, come on. Don't start with me.
Don't start thinking about tomorrow.
I got some bad news, folks.
What?
I just got a text from Entergy. They're saying they're doing some maintenance, and they said the power may be, and the power might be going off.
Oh no.
Okay, then you should probably turn off your computer right now. So,
I mean, it's right. I got it plugged into a UPS, the Chromebook, and I got the modem into a UPS. But yeah, I mean, they've been, like I said, it's been flickering all day. And they said they did temporary repairs to get the stuff running again because we had some tornado damage.
You did, or just the area?
Yeah, oh no, not me. I mean the area did.
Uh-huh.
So I think it went south of here, but yeah, but like I said, that's where that nuclear power plant is.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I like this one saying run away. I saw a good Black Knight one, but I gotta find it.
'Tis but a scratch. You bloody loon. You're missing your bloody arm. I've had worse.
You know what's almost as funny as the Monty Python movies and just as stupid?
What?
That movie with Sean Connery, Zarados.
Ah.
You know what I'm talking about from like 1974?
Zardoz?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, but
Oh my God. I can't unsee that one either.
All right. And here is another, let's see. What is your name? What is your quest? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
That's a good one. And all the teenagers and little munchkins are like, Daddy, what does that mean? And no, because they have no idea. And then you turn on the movie and they're like, how is this funny?
Yeah. How is it funny? Snort says, African or European?
So what you're saying is, if she weighs as much as a duck, that means she's made of wood. And that means a witch! A witch!
Let's see.
Well, I tried.
Yeah. I think the rainstorm is agitating him. Fez is saying, Canadian! Let's see. I've got things all over the place. Okay, here's a question. Here's trivia for Monty Python. Connie Booth as the witch may or may not have caused John Cleese, peasant number 3, to feel like something completely different. What did she supposedly turn him into?
She turned him into a newt.
Yes.
I got better.
She turned into what?
A newt.
Okay.
But he got better. Let's see. Yeah, everybody's coming back and saying a newt. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Ah, here's the one I was looking for. Here's the one I was looking for.
Hey, Phantom Outsider, you're right. The one question on the floor mat can be, what's your favorite color? But also, the question after that was, what is the capital of Assyria?
Ah.
Okay, this is funny and it's awesome, but it's also a warning, Mr. Raymond, because
What?
we know that Disney made an agreement with BBC to get Doctor Who. Now, it's...
Oh, God, let's not.
Oh, my God, no.
So, there's a possibility that they may decide to license out Monty Python, and that means this is a possibility, but it wouldn't be Deadpool. It would be some other person that would be taking on King Arthur. But here's the thing: Disney they can't process what makes Monty Python funny because they're not funny. They have no idea about what humor is.
Mm-hmm.
So, if Deadpool was in the Monty Python universe, it would be absolutely crazy funny. Because if you
Mhm.
think about it, he's always talking to the nice boys and girls at home. He's always doing the fourth wall breaking. So
Right.
can you imagine the fourth wall he's breaking is into the Monty Python universe? And they've been watching this entire time going, what's he on about?
Oh yeah.
And if Pudgy uses enough British terms, we'll eventually summon Dalek.
Yeah, we haven't seen Dalek yet. Let's see. But here it is. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I like this one. 80s music meets the Holy Grail. Or, yeah. Every little thing she does is magic.
Burn her! A witch! A witch!
Oh dear, oh dear. You must cut down the mightiest tree in the forest with a herring.
Ta-da!
And the third question is, what is the capital of Assyria? And then the swallow. Oh, Agent Pepsi 1 is saying the power is out. Oh no.
Yeah,
Remember what?
Yeah, I'm on battery now completely.
Okay.
So I don't know how long this is going to last, but I'll
All
be here until the power fails. I mean, the battery fails completely.
Okay. Hey, Pudgy could spare some bunnies to run on your generator.
That would be great.
Monty Python is too something for the modern audience. It could never be done today. That is true.
Yeah, exactly, Snore the Poopus.
Snort is saying, oh no. Yeah. And Fez says, Academy Award for writing to Pudgy.
Yay!
Bunny treadmill race. Yeah. Oh dear. Let's see.
All right, so if Pudgy understands correctly,
Okay.
copyright law typically lasts for 100 years or so.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
So that means that Monty Python will be available in the public domain. Well, actually, wait. Monty Python is still owned by BBC.
Mm-hmm.
So Pudgy doesn't know what it is for Great Britain, but let's say that their rules are about the same. It's 100 years, so that means in 2067, the first season of Flying Circus would become public domain, and then at that point in time, people could start making their own versions of it. So you know what that means, Mr. Raymond?
What?
We'd have to wait till 2078 for Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but in 2067, you could have a movie about the School of Funny Walks.
Yeah.
And they can make it a musical.
Oh.
Yeah, but you can have this already. Just don't call it Monty Python. Just have something very similar.
But no, see, that's the thing, Agent Pepsi 1. You are correct. You could make something similar with a brand new name. But see, here's the thing. People don't have any creativity anymore.
That's true.
The ones that make movies, they have to use the name. So that means they have to wait. So it also means that Megaforce will be able to be turned into a brand new version using Megaforce in 2080. And then by that time, it'll be the children of
82.
2082, and that means the grandchildren of Adam Sandler will be able to do that film, and they'll be like, da da da, Megaforce, and it's gonna be the flying motorcycles, and and they'll make it a retro movie, like, oh my goodness. They'll put it in the Grindhouse style with the shaky camera and the effects on the screen. And we found Grandpa's flying motorcycle. It's the grandson of Barry Bostwick. And and they're still doing that thumb kissing scene for some reason, and nobody knows why. It just became a common occurrence in the year 2082.
Yeah, I mean it's like ubiquitous. Oh hey, did you know that the lady that played one of the lead parts in Megaforce, she was also the same lady that played in Star Trek the motion picture
Oh,
as the Navigator?
Oh
Well-
yeah, you're right. Pudgy thought she looked familiar.
The Animal Outsider said, I had fish and chips last week from a place called the Chippery. Have not been there in years. Last time they had regular fries. This time they had the proper round cottage fries.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
cottage fries are good. The only problem is that in order for Pudgy to make them, Pudgy needs to use the knife, and Cobalt always tells Pudgy, cut away from you, Pudgy. Don't cut towards you. And then Pudgy has to. It takes hours and hours to make cottage fries, and by the time the Pudgy has one cottage fry ready, Pudgy's so hungry, and Pudgy just chops them up and turns them into tater tots.
Okay. All right. Have you ever seen all the pre-Python shows? No, I came in primarily at the Python years. Ministry of Funny Walks, starring Cobalt Bald Eagle.
That would definitely work, Mr. Fez. Whenever Cobalt walks on the ground as an eagle, occasionally he has to, whittle, and his tail feathers go different directions because he always tells Pudgy, everything's fine. I can fly and everything's wonderful. And then carries Pudgy off on an extended mission to go see Mama Eagle, and then his hip doesn't work right anymore. So it takes a while to get it back into place.
All right. Please tell Pudgy, Phantom Outsider says, please tell Pudgy that originally public domain was only 56 years. Disney and the other corporations moved it out to the 95 it is now.
Oh yeah, you're right, Phantom Outsider. That's also known as the Mickey Mouse Law.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
So it's 95. Chris, we're talking United States rules here. We're not talking British rules. So it might be more, it might be less, it might not be, it might be anything, But the main thing is as long as the BBC is active and operational, everything is fine. If they ever, just Pudgy's watched all the different YouTube videos where they're saying the BBC has all these problems. If they ever shut it down and declare insolvency, which is their version of bankruptcy, that means in the bankruptcy process, they could potentially sell Monty Python to the highest bidder. So in that regard, can you imagine if all of a sudden a bunch of French guys,
hold on, Punch. Two things. Agent Pepsi 1's going to have to sign off for a bit. Power is still out. Internet running super slow, like 5 megabytes. I think provider may be also on battery.
Hey, bye, Agent Pepsi 1.
Hope you can come back. Hope things get better. But now we have.
Night Owl.
Take care. Hope you can come back, but if not, we'll see you Wednesday.
In Raymond.
Hello, Dalek 451.
Hey, Pudgy, if Pudgy uses enough British words, Pudgy can summon Dalek. Hi, Dalek.
I
have been listening in for the last few minutes, Pudgy. I did hear you say that.
So yes, how you doing, Dalek?
Not too bad. I've had a nice quiet day. The whole rest of the family went out. My parents went to Birmingham. My brother went to some sport thing somewhere. So I've had the whole day to myself, nice and quiet.
Oh, good.
Oh, boy.
Good.
That means you can open the front door of your Dalek shell, take your pants off, pull out your tentacles, and then be like, ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So get back to what Pudgy was talking about. Can you imagine if
Pudgy, I think I'd like to explain something to you a little bit. How you're going on about copyright and things like that. I I'm not entirely certain, but I think how copyright works here is that it lasts for like 75 years
Oh,
after
yeah.
the death of the original creator / author.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, so it's going to be longer for Monty Python.
So that means that the makers of Flying Circus, John Cleese, and so it would be all of them. So it's 75 years after every single one of them, plus the BBC staff that worked on that show as well. Okay, that makes sense.
I think that's what it is, Pudgy. Yeah.
So ponder this, Dalek. So 75 years after everyone passes away, or if there's a BBC bankruptcy and they sell off the license, can you imagine that?
Which is looking more and more likely because I keep hearing over and over again how they finally might be getting rid of the TV license, and if that goes, that probably will take the BBC with it.
Yeah. So can you imagine, like, Vivendi, which is a French company, winning the bankruptcy? So they win Monty Python, and then they re-edit it so that the French win.
Oh, good lord!
Oh,
that would be awesome, especially get John Cleese back. Because he's still around. He can't move that well because he's really old now. And that's what happens when you get older. But he can still talk and still act. You just put him at a table and be like, and have him sitting there, and he's like, I don't remember this part of the movie, and then there's the Vivendi overlords behind him, dressed in regal French attire, and like, get thee back to Britain, you English chinniggets.
all right. Let's see there. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's see.
The Tales of Brave Sir Pudgy of Camelot.
Loser! You're ugly, asshat. Your mother was hamster and your father smelt of elderberries.
Shut
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see.
Here's another crazy thing that could happen. Ponder this, Dalek.
Mm-hmm.
A Doctor Who version of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, that's.
Can you imagine the Daleks as the knights who say knee?
I got to admit, I'm probably out of my depth in this here because I don't really know much about Monty Python, but I bet if I ask my dad, he'd know lots about it. I think he loves it.
We are the Daleks who say knee, 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 knee.
Me.
Right.
I like this one. Having those close friends that mean the world to you.
Let's kill him and then eat him. I think we should spare him. You always take his side. Well, I have to. His breath stinks. Well, that's because you don't brush my teeth.
All righty. Okay.
Sir Robin ran away. Away, away. Sir Robin ran away. No, he didn't. Yes. Yeah, Eric Idle was Sir Robin.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Here is the term. Here is the cast in 2014.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, John Cleese, Eric Idle. Yeah, comedy legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, Palin, Gilliam, Jones, Idle, and Cleese.
Yeah.
Boy, you had 11 years, and Pudgy thinks they're all still chugging, so that's a good thing.
I think
Yeah.
Idle.
Oh, John Cleese is certainly still around.
Yeah. Cleese is around. Idle,
Idle's around.
Oh, he is? I thought he passed.
Pudgy thought he's still alive.
Well, let's see. Let's go to my Wayback computer. Working.
You know, Raymond, if you're gonna do a theme night on Monty Python, you know what else you should do a theme night on?
What?
Blackadder.
I will think about that. I will think about it.
Pudgy doesn't know what Blackadder is. Pudgy, but it sounds familiar. What is it, Darling?
Blackadder is basically an historical comedy series. It stars Rowan Atkinson and as the titular Blackadder. And basically and each series of the show is set in a different period of history. Like the first series was set, I think it was set in the Middle Ages. The second series was set in I think it was set in the 1500s or something, and the third series was set in Georgian times, and the fourth series and the last was set during World War One.
Ah, yeah, I'll think about it. We'll see.
Yeah, no, trust me, it's pure comedy gold. You go if you've never seen Blackadder, I thoroughly recommend it. It's brilliant. It is absolutely hilarious.
Tim says, "No, we are the Daleks that say exterminate."
FKHC 2005 knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, Blackadder Goes Forth ending is the best. Absolutely. The ending of Blackadder Goes Forth is just classic.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Fez says, in the UK, there are things held in perpetual rights, like anything of Crown and a few other things.
Yeah, that's true, FKHC. Pudgy was watching a documentary, and there's this one thing that's in the British royal budget, which is also part of the British annual budget for the government. There's this one debt, and it's been going on since the 1300s, and it's carried over for every single king, every single queen, every single administration. And this one family owed the royalty something, and they've never paid it off, and it's like, years and years and years, and every year it's the same, 12 pounds or whatever the currency was at the time, and they don't make a lot of money off of it, but so supposedly by the year 2200, that family will have finally paid off their debt. But whatever it is, 1300 to 2200 is 900 years. What a payment plan!
Okay. I was born in Jerusalem, next door to Jesus. At the age of 30, I joined the People's Front of Judea. Oh, and one more thing, I'm not a Roman. I'm Jewish.
Always look on the bright side of life.
This is the main.
This is the wrong movie for tonight.
What do you mean?
Now that's Life of Brian. We're talking Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Actually, wasn't it?
Although Life of Brian is a funny show. Oh, wait a minute. The stream title says now time for something completely different. So that means it's all of Monty Python. So Life of Brian is now allowed for the references. Go!
Yeah. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Well, you know what this means, Mr. Raymond?
What?
If Life of Brian is allowed, that means somebody out in the chat knows what Pudgy's talking about. About biggest.
You mean that?
There it goes.
Yeah, we can't say it here. We can't say it here, but hello, Fez. Hello, Fez.
There it Hi, Mr. Fez.
Hello, Fez.
Hey,
Hello. I would like to
you
see.
got an echo.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Fez.
Hello, Fez.
Hello. Hi there, fellas.
That echo was
Echo.
Echo. All right.
Echo still?
Nope. We got it.
Hang
bad.
on.
Nah, it stopped.
No, you're good.
Good.
What is on your
Excellent.
head?
Oh, that's the head covered from those guys that were in Flying Circus.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I wonder if Dalek knew what they call this.
I
Because
know
it's usually a handkerchief. All I had was a black shirt that I
Oh,
cut up into rags.
I know it. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that before. I know it's something like you put up you just put on your head if you're just lying out in the sun or something.
Yeah.
it's a bandana.
Just put on
Isn't
Oh,
it?
no, there's a
No,
British term for
it's
it.
knotted at four corners,
Ah,
but
What is it, Mr.
usually
Fez?
just made with a handkerchief. But I didn't know if it had a proper name or not.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, those guys that were in Flying Circus, they would put that on their head, and they would act like dummies, but they really weren't dummies. But it was the British version of like, this is my cousin Daryl, this is my other cousin Daryl.
Yeah. And they sit there going, I would like to see someone play the spoons.
Yeah.
I gotta laugh out of Pudgy. I'm happy.
Hey.
Let's see. The meaning of life is underrated. I like the meaning of life. Oh, and oh my goodness
Yeah,
gracious.
And then there's that part where the guy explodes from overeating.
Yes.
Mr. Creosote.
And
Yeah,
what
Mr.
did it?
Creosote.
It was the after dinner mint.
Yeah, that's true.
Way fell thin.
Okay. We've already answered this one, but complete the quote said amid crucifixion. Always look on the
Right side of life.
ba-dum, ba-dum-da-dum-da-dum. Always look on the bright side of life. Da-da-da. All
No,
right, let's.
No, yeah. Even if you don't really know Monty Python, you're bound to know that tune at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Incontinentia Botox. No one, and of course, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Ta-da!
My sister's favorite line.
Oh, can you imagine a bunch of Daleks dressed in the Spanish Inquisition coats and they just show up one day?
Ooh.
Nobody expects the Dalek Inquisition.
Oh, yes. Oh,
And then
yeah.
one Dalek dressed in the red coat, he wanders off, and then he starts doing the lines from Alucard from Helsing Ultimate.
Hey, John, we got
Yes.
a picture. We got a picture of you.
Oh no. Come on, come on. There you go.
That, oh my God, that looks just like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, oh.
And look, a flower. It's green.
And
Gotta love
hello, Jason Love. How
Hey
are
there.
you?
Hi.
All right. Let's see.
It's fun to charter an accountant and sail the wide accountancies, to find, explore the funds offshore, and skirt the shoals of bankruptcy. And to be in insurance will up your premium semi-annually. It's all tax deductible. It's fairly incorruptible and sail the wide accountancies.
And Jason Love says, Spam, spam,
Spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam.
spam. Wonderful.
Lovely spam. Wonderful
Wonderful
spam, spam, spam.
spam.
I thought that came from a. I didn't know that came from Monty Python. I thought that came from a Two Ronnie skits.
It came from Spam-A-Lot.
Spam, spam, spam.
Spam, spam, spam.
Well, no, it was from Flying Circus. Yeah, but they
Yeah.
went to a restaurant. They went to the restaurant that served spam. Spam and eggs, spam, bacon and eggs, spam, bacon and eggs, spam, Canadian
Oh.
bacon and spam.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
Can I get spam, but hold the eggs? So wait, you want spam, and spam? Yes. Okay. What do you mean? I don't like spam. And there's, for reasons unclear, there's a bunch of Vikings in the restaurant.
Yep.
Let's see. Egg and spam. Egg bacon and spam. Egg bacon sausage and spam.
Spam, bacon, sausage, and spam. Spam, egg, spam, bacon, and spam. Spam, egg, and spam. Spam, baked beans, spam, and spam. Lobsters, thermidor, are crevettes with Mornay sauce garnished with the truffle plate.
Pate. Truffle pate.
Truffle pate.
Yeah. Wait, is it that meat stuff that you grind into a paste?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mom usually serves that for us at Christmas. That pate.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Spam,
And then
spam,
let's see. I
spam,
can't
spam,
see the
spam.
lower one. Something fried egg and spam.
Is it
Bacon,
Hey,
fried egg, and
Oh,
spam.
bacon fried egg.
Oh, okay.
no bacon?
Oh, Pudgy was watching this food video, and it's these two really nice guys from Great Britain. They were traveling the United States on vacation. So they went to Memphis to a barbecue restaurant, and so they pull out the big plate of was barbecue ribs and pork and and biscuits and everything. So they pull out the fork and knife to try to eat the barbecue with a fork and knife. The owner jumps from behind the counter and no! You eat with your fingers. You're allowed to eat with your fingers here.
That reminds me of Sandra and I went to, well, this was our first date. We went to a medieval dinner, and we actually had, that was the first time I went to one, and we actually had to do the eating with our hands.
Yep. Finger food is tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's fine when you eat with your hands. The only problem is the soup. Because it's hot, and you can only cup your paws so much, before it burns and it leaks out everywhere. And they're like, "Did Pudgy at least have a cup?" And then then Pudgy looks sad, and then they're like, "Okay, Pudgy, you can have a cup."
Then 4 hours later, someone invented the straw.
It's interesting that you always eat certain things with your hands, and then you eat certain things with a knife and fork or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, because like chicken is always a finger food, but goose is not.
Like for example, I know what you mean. Like you can just pick up a piece of chicken and just eat it, but if it's turkey, then you just use a knife and fork.
Unless it's the drumstick.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pudgy was watching the documentary, and it said that for the longest time, turkey was not available in Great Britain because turkeys are a North American bird. And but eventually, what happened was that there was a whole bunch of nice British people that went over to the United States and like, "What is this?" And they're like, "It's turkey. It's over here." Oh, and so then whenever they were still doing there are still ships that go back and forth, but when ships were the primary means of transportation, a
Yeah.
small number of turkeys were brought back to Great Britain, and then they're like double, 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 and the British farmers are like, what the heck are these things? They don't honk right, because they're so used to raising geese.
Yeah.
Eventually, over time, the turkeys caught on, and now you can get turkey in Great Britain.
Yeah.
Spam and egg and
You
spam.
sure can, especially at Christmas.
Because turkey's cheaper than geese. The documentary said.
That's the.
Okay.
I mean, what's
And
the,
they don't fight
I mean, at Christmas in the States, what's the main centerpiece of the meal? You know, obviously
it's usually
obviously
ham.
Ham.
Yeah, ham or turkey.
Yeah, ham or
Yeah,
turkey.
over here it's turkey. It's mainly turkey.
Because Pudgy remembers something that Cobalt told Pudgy. Many, many years it was ham, and the family sort of got tired of ham, so then they would ask Mama Eagle, back when she was a human, could you make a lasagna? And Mama Eagle would be like, oh yeah, I can do a lasagna. It's a lot easier than some of the other stuff. Because when you make the turkey, and you gotta stuff the turkey, you gotta baste the turkey, and you gotta get the big pan out. And she couldn't lift it, so Papa Eagle, whenever he was still alive, and as a human, would be all Mr. Snarly Bear, like, oh, what do you mean you can't lift the pan out? They would lift the pan and make a big production, and after 12 hours of cooking, Mama Eagle would be like, I hate Thanksgiving.
And actually, for Jews, it's Chinese for Christmas.
Yeah, what is it? Ain't Fu Young?
Yeah.
Christmas
let's
with fried wontons. I like it.
So, Phantom Outsider asks, so how many people on this stream actually have a can or two currently in their pantry?
No.
I do. I don't.
What, of Spam, you mean?
Yeah, of Spam.
Mhm.
I don't.
Pudgy's got 6.
Oh.
Did you know that they make turkey spam?
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sandra,
See, the best part
can
is
we
that
get turkey spam?
and it's pretty good, actually. Here's the strange part. So when Pudgy goes to the Italian Bear Bakery to go grocery shopping with Cobalt, they have the nutritional thingies pot written on a sign in front of the case, and the deli turkey that you get from the deli counter has more salt in it than the turkey spam, and it's the weirdest thing.
Oh.
Mhm.
Let's see.
And now it's cheaper to get the turkey spam.
No, okay. I don't like spam on my egg. No. I don't like spam on my eggs, toast, bean, and spam. Okay. I want to register a complaint. Hello, miss. What do you mean, miss? Oh, excuse me.
Sorry, I have a cold.
No spam here. I like it rarely. Well fried. Oh, okay.
Yeah, true. You gotta fry it.
Spam is good with scalloped potatoes, spam, and Velveeta. Hey, I'm a Pacific Islander. They love spam.
Yeah. And also, spam is a real big thing in Hawaii cuisine. Because a lot of the Japanese people that live there, they put it in the sushi recipes, as a replacement for tuna.
Oh, I did not know that.
Neat. Boy, I love tuna.
Alive.
Its parent is no more. It has ceased to be. It is bereft of life. It is an ex-parrot.
Yes. If you hadn't nailed it to its perch, it would have been pushing up the daisies.
Snort says turkey or ham or walrus. There is nothing like a fat Christmas walrus. Ah, okay. Let's see. Hawaiians, Filipinos, Japanese all love Spam. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of it came from World War II with the food restrictions, because all the food had to go to for the troops. But there was a whole lot of spam that was around, from the military, and after the war ended, and as the various places were rebuilding, they had cans and cans of this stuff, and they're like, "What is this?" And they would pop the can open, and then it would come out in a translucent gel, and they'd be like, but they were hungry, so they cut it and fried it, and like, hey, this stuff's pretty good.
Mhm.
Okay, I gotta check Snorta Poopas. Let's see.
Pudgy was watching this video, of these guys. They're like scientists, chemist guys, but they're younger. So they're doing the YouTube channel, and they found it was a case of emergency drinking water from the Korean War,
Oh wow.
and it was in the gray cans. It was written in black text, emergency drinking water. And they wanted to know if they could still drink the water inside the emergency drinking water. So they opened the can and they poured it out, and it came out mostly clear, but there was a little brown tinge to it. Well, what had happened was that when they did the chemical testing, the metal from the can leached into the water, because the emergency drinking water supply was only meant to last 10 years before they would have to open it up. And apparently they made so much of the stuff and it went to so many different places that, hey, there's a bear.
Dead parrot.
A dead parrot. with Monty Python on the foot.
Yep.
This is from Snorta Poopas.
Awesome.
Hey,
Let's see.
Yeah, because a lot of the early cans were lined with cadmium for some reason.
yeah. Well, it was the war. They really weren't doing metal testing like they do now. It's just like, we need something that's gonna last and survive a nuclear something or other. Pudgy already said the word. We're not saying it again. And but remember, everybody, if you get under your desk and duck and cover, you're protected from a nuclear attack.
Yep.
All right.
Because the wooden stool desks of the 1950s had radiation shielding.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and over in Great Britain, there's a bunch of Daleks wandering around, and they're like, what are those Americans on about?
Between our quests, we wear sequin vests and impersonate.
Yes.
No one knows. Let's see. This is a trivia question. Let me try this again. I guess it's the delivery. Let's see.
Wait,
Between
it's not DiGiorno's?
Between our quests, we wear sequin vests and impersonate.
Women.
No. But that's a good
I-
answer.
Pudgy doesn't get it.
It is.
Liberace.
No, it is Clark Gable.
Oh,
This was sung by the Knights of the Round Table.
yes.
Oh.
Okay. Snorta Poopa says a refrigerator is also nuke proof, as Indiana Jones knows. Oh God, don't remind me. I saw that and I said,
Yeah,
oh,
but see,
yeah.
here's the thing. That movie was cast in the 60s. So that was the old refrigerators that were all big and bulky and solid aluminum. So,
ah.
so it made sense why it had some shielding, but really nice producers, you had to go that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Russian lady at the very end, I want to know everything. And then the skulls are merging together, and it's an alien, and the spacecraft, and she gets sucked away in a portal, and and the guy that was the war doctor was the crazy guy, former scientist in that movie. And Pudgy's like, wait, when did Doctor Who wind up in Indiana Jones? Like, never mind, we gotta get out of the temple before we get sucked into the alien dimension.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You John Hurt was in this thing?
Wait, Pudgy thought it was John Hurt.
If you said the war doctor, that was John Hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pudgy thinks it was him.
Hmm.
Pudgy might be wrong. But there was a crazy guy that his mind was gone because he looked into the crystal skulls. And here's the thing. All right, the crystal skulls are a thing. They have found several crystal skulls all throughout Central and South America. And there are a couple that are in museums, there's a couple that are in private hands, and there is a legitimate story to them that the ancient peoples of the various places said that if you get all 13 skulls together, something happens. Now, the translations were wildly off because turns out 1,000-year-old versions of ancient languages in Central and South America, things change over time. So a word that meant the is going to be meaning something completely different now. For some reason, it keeps talking about bunny rabbits. All throughout the Central and South America. And meanwhile, in South America, there's no bunny rabbits because they're like, are you kidding? We're not going to Brazil. There's large cats and snakes that are the size of a station wagon. Just swimming around. And there's these people that have no idea what we're talking about, living on an island, and like they're looking at this strange dinner plate, and there's a captain. There's a skipper, and there's Gilligan, and there's Marianne, and they're like, we don't know what this is. It came out of the sky one day. The sky gods said that we must pray to Gilligan.
Okay. Let's see.
You know what else they got down in Brazil?
What?
They got these big insects that really could carry a coconut.
Yeah.
Sweetbreads. Okay. All right.
Spam.
What does Prince Herbert want to do?
I want to sing.
Yeah. You got it. Okay.
There'll be none of that, lad.
And she has large tracts of land.
Yeah.
Our castle is built in a swamp. We built a castle. It sunk. We built another castle on top of it. It sunk too. This is the third castle of our legacy. We need dry land.
Yeah.
Let's see. And this is the
God.
The seventh Python or Python Girl. God, she's pretty.
Wow. Carol
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Called Python Girl or Seventh Python.
Oh yeah, because she was the girlfriend / wife of one of the one of the main founders. So she was cast in a lot of stuff, especially in Flying Circus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, let's see. There's some.
Oh God.
There's the.
Dead parrot sketch.
I'm looking. There's Spamalot.
Yes.
spam, spam, spam,
Spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam,
spam.
spam, waffles, spam.
And then the animator had a severe heart attack, and the
Yeah.
monster disappeared.
Yay!
Let's see. Let's see.
Chris, the thing is, so Monty Python and the Holy Grail, that's based on the whole Arthurian legend. Pudgy remembers, probably the best King Arthur movie that they ever made. At least this is what Cobalt says, and Pudgy agrees with Cobalt on this. Was Excalibur?
Yeah.
That's the best one. Now, there's been other really good ones, but that was the one that they hit on all parts of the Arthurian legend. There's the part at the end where there's the guy in the gold running around the forest, with the armies of the witch. That's where things start to go a little iffy for Pudgy, because Pudgy doesn't understand these things. But then they so. But that part, Fortuna starts playing. There's all the knights riding on the horses. The land comes back to life, and the flowers are coming out of the trees, and they're riding the Marion who became a nun. That's the best part of the movie.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Although there is the worst part of the movie is any scene that has Patrick Stewart in it.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
was Liam
Patrick
Neeson's
Stewart was
first
in that
movie.
movie.
Yeah. I have seen what I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but he was still in Shakespearean actor mode at that time.
Yeah.
In his later roles, especially once he became Captain Picard, he started to mellow out. But because Patrick Stewart was also in '84 Dune.
Oh my God! Don't mention that movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, I love the movie. I'm sorry. I love that Dune, but Patrick Stewart in that movie, and really in Star Trek, I will say this till my last days. Sting in 80s Dune had more acting ability than Patrick Stewart ever had in Next Generation.
Amen, brother.
I mean, just Sting standing there showing off his chiseled body was more acting than Picard ever had, or than Stewart ever had.
Could you imagine if Patrick Stewart was in the Holy Grail? Ham.
Snort says, no love for Patty Stew. No, I have
Nope.
none.
Well, wait a minute. Please correct Pudgy if Pudgy's wrong. Wasn't Patrick Stewart King Arthur in Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Yep. Richard.
Yeah, you're right. King Richard.
Yep.
Yeah, he came back from the Crusades.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Mel Brooks is like, it's good to be the king.
Yeah.
And there's the lumberjack song.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
Sleep
Work
all
all
night
night
and I
and
work
sleep.
all day.
That's the one.
Pudgy skips and jump. Pudgy lights the press wildflowers. Something, 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 and hang around in bars.
Yeah.
And of course, the most iconic image in Monty Python's Flying Circus is Splat.
Oh, yes.
Splat.
What?
Splat.
Bring out your dead. Clunk. Bring out your dead. Clunk.
Yeah.
Stuart wanted to be more like Kirk. Fist fights and women. No. But Snorts comes back and says, Splat!
Well, to be fair to Patrick Stewart, which he doesn't need to. We don't need to be. We don't know him anything. He doesn't know us anything. But he did make a good Professor Xavier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good role for him. And then the other guy that was playing Magneto. Those two together were perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They're
look how.
It's Snort puts on Pudgy's clothing and hang around in bars.
Snort puts on Pudgy's clothing. That's got to be a tight squeeze.
Yep.
Yeah, Pudgy's vest would probably go around one of his paw toes.
Yeah.
Yep. Little tiny
Although-
mining hat.
Although it would be quite epic for Snort the Poopus to have a spiffy vest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A polar bear sized.
Yeah.
And spats.
Ooh, spats.
That. Ooh, yeah.
Spats. Oh, yeah. Got to have a nice set of spats. Hello, Sandra.
Hello.
Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Our producer is here, so maybe we'll get some order. No, we never get order in this chaos.
It should
let's
bring
see.
food.
No.
Oh.
She's been working on some sewing craft.
Ah.
And she says, "Hail to the panel."
Hello.
Let's see. Live at the Hollywood Bowl. The Australian professors weren't quite so different after all, since they all shared the same name. What was it?
G'day, Bruce.
Yep.
They all wore the hats with the strings hanging down with the corks so they could shoo away the flies.
Ah,
At least I think that's what they were for.
Spam, 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 spam.
Namana. Let's see.
Dang!
Yeah, I'm getting the warning already.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. I was busy looking for a oh
So I'd like to
Fancy.
put on Pudgy stuff and channel Chris Farley with Bernal suit. Yay!
oh.
That's because Snort the Poopus lives in a van down by the river.
Down by the river. Okay, I missed it.
Pudgy was watching a retrospective on that scene. Chris Farley is as the motivational speaker, and they go into the house, and there's Dana Carvey and Christina Applegate and Phil Hartman and the other lady, and they're all trying desperately to hold it together as Chris Farley is just going crazier and crazier, and the one part in that bit where the girl says, where he says, "What do you want to do with your life, little one?" And she's like, "I want to live in a van down by the river." And everyone is just barely holding it together. And then Chris Farley just rolled with it. He's like, "Well, you can live in a van down by the river when you're living in a van down by the river."
I like this one. Floridians in Cat 5 hurricanes. Floridians in weather below 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as much as the groundhogs and the other crazy animals out there that say that climate change is not real, it snowed in Florida this year. That means we got climate change. And it snowed 2 inches in Florida. That's a perfect sign something different. There's no way we could fix it. It's not like if we go over the Dalek and we just keep feeding them pepper steak, more pepper steak, more pepper steak, more onions, more onions. Build up the gas reserves, activate the rocket thrusters, and just like in that Star Wars movie. Wait, they fly now? And Dalek's like, well, yeah, the Daleks have been flying for many years. Wait, I'll take more pepper steak.
Yeah.
It's a silly story, but I get food. Another plate.
Yeah.
Oh God, Mr. Creosote.
Seconds.
I remember that that movie or that portion of it.
Yeah, Pudgy understands the Mr. Creosote part. They're trying to make a point that overeating and overconsumption is bad. And that guy's just it's dialed up to 20. They get the bucket, he explodes all over the patrons. But there's a part where the doctor scene at the beginning part of the movie is like a medical procedure in London, and it shows all the doctors and nurses. And wait, it's kind of quiet in here. They bring in more equipment. That's the machine that goes bing.
Oh God, yeah.
And then it goes to the part. Pudgy doesn't remember which town it was. It was one of the working mill towns of Great Britain, and then you see the stork fly overhead, and then there's a house with like 50 children, and like, oh, dear, did you pick up your baby, brother? Yeah, then they talk to the Protestants across the street, and they're all prim and proper, and with no children, and with a knife and fork, and they start talking about things that Pudgy should not know about.
Yeah.
Let's see. But the Pythons were funny, fun-loving humans. Chris Farley was a funny, fun-loving human. Are you not a funny, fun-loving blur? He's saying, yeah, I am. And let's see. In Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Oh, let me get rid of this. In Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach, there's only been one report of snow flurries observed in the air in more than 200 years. This occurred in January 77. Snort says the snow was up in the Panhandle. When did it snow last in Florida? There are two different answers. January 3rd, 2022 and January 3rd, 2018.
All right, so Pudgy will amend Pudgy's statement. So there's snow in the northern part of Florida, which is not normal, and it's intense heat in the rest of Florida. There's a reason why Snore the Poopus has 10 air conditioners at the polar bear cave, because in case of if 9 of them fail, he still has the little portable one, and he's in a pool, and the ice maker is with the door open, just put more ice into the pool. And he's like, it's good to be the Bear King, baby.
Snort says, the last time it snowed near me was 77. There's more snow in Miami, but that's cocaine. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, let's see.
Say hello to my little friend. Oh, wait, wrong movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. I am looking. Come on, it's here.
Yeah.
It's here. I know it's here.
Yeah, Push It to the Limit, which is in the Starface movie. That's one of those songs that if you are driving anywhere, you do not put Push It to the Limit or Eastbound and Down or Panama on the radio, because you're guaranteed to get a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. And here is.
Hmm.
Here is. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Dun!
Oh, did I hear it? Yes, I heard it.
Heard what?
Pudgy said it.
Dun!
Is that Doom?
No, da-da.
No,
Oh.
it's part of the Spanish. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition in the epic music. Done.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought it sounded like the other word that ends up
No.
in annihilation.
And Pudgy said dun. Not dun dun.
Oh, okay.
And
Ta-dun.
if
Okay.
Pudgy goes a lower register, dun dun. That's the sound from Law and Order.
Okay. There's the Spanish Inquisition.
I wonder what the Dalek version of the comfy chair would be.
I don't know.
Hmm.
And Fanty says, wait, I thought Pudgy was the little friend.
Yep.
You know, push it to the limit has two meanings, and it, if you're, that's the epic song for Starface. It's also whatever Pudgy and Snore the Poopus go to that all-you-can-eat bakery.
Oh, an all-you-can-eat bakery. Oh, that reminds me. I got cheesecake in the fridge.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, see, here's the thing. If you have all-you-can-eat cookies, that would be wonderful and yummy, and the restaurant would be like, okay, all-you-can-eat cookies. It's going to be a tight month. Okay, and there's a polar bear and a hedgehog just sitting there eating cookies. That's going to be perfectly fine. If it was all-you-can-eat baklava,
Oh.
that restaurant would go out of business.
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
if they make it right, it's absolutely glorious. Pudgy gets a little piece of baklava and winds up in Punxsutawney, and then Punxsutawney Phil is like, "What are you doing here again, Pudgy?" Pudgy's like, "Pudgy had baklava," and he's like, "Oh, I like baklava." And then Pudgy gives a piece to Punxsutawney Phil, and then Pudgy and the groundhog, we wind up in Niagara Falls.
And Phantom Outsider says, "Not anymore. Not anymore. Saw Snorter Poopers head over to the fridge as soon as you saw that. As soon as you finished that sentence." Oh, I know. I'm gonna see there, and we don't got a bunch of nobody. A bunch of British chaps in 1975 on their way to redefine comedy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what that means, Mr. Raymond?
What?
Those guys doing Monty Python and the Holy Grail, they filmed their movie before Rocky Horror.
Ooh.
Yep.
There were two things in Britain that redefined redefined movies: Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and then Rocky Horror came out. And
I have not seen it. I have never seen.
It's a good movie. Yes, there's a couple parts where Cobalt throws the censor blankie over Pudgy, but mainly because of things on the screen, not necessarily the words. And but yeah, there's the normal version. There's the extended version, which is an option on the DVD thingy.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, Susan Sarandon's in it. Touch me.
Yeah.
And you can't sing the rest of the song.
But Snorter Poopus will be giving a share to Trek because that's what Snorts do. Oh,
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Whoa. The quest is over.
Ah.
Tempered over burning witches. Ah.
See, that's the thing. If obviously that is a product, it's probably a microbrew, so it's only a small amount that was ever produced. Especially before the BBC found out that they were making ale, and making money off of the license, and they're like, hey, you can't do that, and like, oh shit. It's the blimey buggers from London calling, and we gotta get rid of the evidence. And then there's a whole bunch of drunk polar bears in the back just drinking one after another, throwing stuff into the big kiln to try to melt the glass, boxes and all. But so the cardboard catches fire. But obviously one survived because it was able to take a picture of.
Yeah.
Yeah, question in class. What is your favorite color? Questions in the exam. You must cut down the mightiest tree in the forest with a herring. Da-dun!
Yeah.
What? Hell, Trike. What?
Hey, the genuine coconut.
Yes.
Tim has had some of that ale.
Oh, good.
Really?
And Tim's also says, they almost wiped the masters of flying circus. Yeah, Pudgy heard that.
Wow.
What do you mean?
Well, apparently the BBC, as a cost-cutting measure, they wanted to reuse the film for something, so they almost wiped the master cut, the master film that was in storage for the Flying Circus, but they were able to stop it in time.
Yeah, that happened to so many shows here in the U.S.
Yeah, it happened to the original Star Wars. George Lucas, he ordered that the original negatives be burned.
What
Now Pudgy thinks they burned the studio masters, but Pudgy knows. He has a copy of the original. It's locked away in an airtight vault, in his house. So if he ever truly wanted to, he could release the original version before all of his edits and changes over the years. But he's not going to. He's just like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings. My precious.
Yeah.
But Terry Jones found it and they saved him.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Who, lucky only 97 were still missing, but there was more.
Yeah.
Chris,
Go ahead, Dalek.
Oh yeah, it's Dalek time.
Yeah, I've said. Yeah, I mean, I was wondering. Sorry. You brought that up. Unfortunately, a lot of episodes of the very early days of Doctor Who, like William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, a lot of those stories are lost, or at least a lot of the episodes that were part of those stories are lost. I think some of them are fully lost. Others are partially lost. Like the Dalek Master Plan. I think there's only like 4 episodes out of 12 that you can still get of that.
Wasn't there a couple that there's only the soundtrack left? Or was that another show?
No, you're right, Mr. Fez. There was a couple where it was soundtrack only, and then and then they made an animated version of those episodes.
Yeah, the best example, probably the two best examples of that are. Well, one of the best examples is definitely Power of the Daleks, which was Patrick Troughton's first story. All of that was lost, except for maybe a clip or two, and all. There were only a few clips from that still existed, but but for a very long time, all there was of that was the audio. And then I think only like just a few years ago, they actually made a fully animated version of Power of the Daleks. And I think, and I know there's definitely a few they also did. I think in fact, I think they also did the Macra Terror and maybe perhaps the Abominable Snowman, and maybe I think there was another one. I think it was maybe the Invasion. Unless that one's no, that one was mostly lost.
Well, to be fair to the BBC,
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky. I mean, if they did that to the early episode, to like William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, I mean, we're lucky that we still have all the classic episodes from John Pertwee onwards.
yeah, true. What Pudgy was going to say is that, after World War II, Reconstruction in Great Britain took a while. So there were a lot of things that were happening. Like they focused on the big areas first, but it took a while to get to the rest of the country. So they were kind of busy at times, and plus, you have people thinking that at that time this is a great piece of television. Nobody's gonna watch it in 10 to 15 years, because they thought it was just gonna be like a soap opera.
Yeah.
But no one expected that people would watch it over and over and over again, and it would turn into a massive financial juggernaut.
Yeah, that was a big thing. They didn't think. I mean, obviously back then they never knew that things like home video release and reruns would be a thing, and I mean, so it was just they were just putting this stuff on the air on TV in the first place would just be a one and done, and then so why bother? So it's like, why bother keeping stuff, keeping these keeping the tapes of these things, which are just going to take up space. And
well, what did they go and say? Coronation Street.
What?
Yeah. There's a lot of old video of Coronation Street. At least some of what I've seen is in black and white.
Yeah, Coronation Street. That's been around almost as long as Doctor Who. I think that started in the 60s as well.
Yeah.
Hi, Comic Relief Crusader.
Hello, Comic. Come on up.
But Coronation Street. That's not Coronation Street's not the BBC though. That's ITV.
Oh, okay. That's Irish television?
No, international television. No, sorry, no. No, sorry. No, independent television. My bad.
Okay. I don't know why I thought it was Irish television.
Well, it has an I. Well, yeah, it starts with an I, but
it's no. The I stands for independent.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
See, that's the reason why we bring Dalek on the show, because he's the official knower of all British things.
I wouldn't say all British things, but a lot of British things.
There was also
possible questions for Dalek.
There was always royalties to the actors, so they didn't want to pay them.
Yeah, that's also another thing.
Oh, this one's good. This one's good. When you crush. Oh dear.
Message for you, sir.
Yeah.
When your crush sends you a date or a text asking if she can date your best friend.
Yeah, Pudgy was watching something, and there was a commercial on, and it was about these river cruises, and Pudgy's like, "Oh, that sounds like a neat thing," and it shows this picturesque boat, and it's going down the river Danube. And there's all these wonderful, happy people on both sides of the river. And Pudgy's like, boy, is this an old one? Because all the humans are gone now. So that means the animals are running this river cruise, and you too get to go past the sewage treatment plant and the water treatment plant and and the textile mill. So it shows the wonderful, beautiful town, and meanwhile they take you past the industrial centers, that smells like sulfur on the outside because the plant's running.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of Daleks. They're just off along the river, off along the river, running the looms. Like, weave it, Kate, the fabric. and then the one Dalek says, "Weave it, Kate, is not a word." And then there's a word that is used in British terminology that Pudgy shouldn't say. So
Probably.
starts with a T and ends in a T.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so Pudgy's not gonna say that word.
Yeah, it's probably best you don't, Pudgy.
When the internet starts working again after I reboot the router, my mom, who are you who are so wise in the ways of science? Comic Relief says Dalek is the resident expert of the UK. Yeah.
Well, I should be since I live in the UK.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when a polar bear, Snort says, when a polar bear has a crush on you, it's not about romance. That is so true. That is so true.
Man, making human pate.
Mm-hmm. Starts ends with a T. Toot. Yeah, I think that's what Shrek would say. Yeah.
Well, there's also a W.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
twit.
that word.
Twit.
Yes.
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 Brings to mind another Monty Python skit, the upper class British Twit of the Year games.
Ah.
Yeah, Pudgy was doing a stream with a nice person who was from Australia. He kept using this word with a C, and Pudgy's like, should Pudgy use that word too? And he was like, no, Pudgy, no, don't use the word.
Oh no, not the T word, Pudgy. No, absolutely not. That's even worse.
Let's see.
Yeah, that was a fun show. Pudgy's learning all sorts of new words to use for the Pudgy show. He's like, no, don't listen to me.
Oh yeah. That's censored, Blanky.
He's a really nice guy. He's really silly, but he uses a lot of Australian level language.
Oh, okay.
And it is now a term here at the Pudgy Show.
What?
Cool.
Australian level language.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right, let's see.
Because if the bad words flow like water, and he doesn't even realize he's saying it. It's part of the language.
True.
The closest thing to Australian level language is trucker.
True.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay.
Although for Pudgy to properly translate to Britain, lorry.
Yes, right. Yeah, what you call trucks, we call lorries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, you know what the funny part is? So over here in the lands that were once known as the United States, all the truckers speak in with a southern accent. Even the ones from Quebec. So it makes Pudgy wonder, how did the lorry drivers in Britain speak? Do they all speak with French accents?
Let's see. Okay.
Or
Who
worse,
said?
Or worse, do they all speak with Scottish accents?
Who said? Don't grovel.
Probably North Yorkshire accents.
Oh, okay.
Who said, don't grovel? I hate groveling and don't avert your eyes. Such actions depress me. Just like those
God.
miserable. Dang. Yes, you're right, John.
I remember that scene.
God
Yeah,
is the
that-
one.
And God also said during the scene, whenever King Arthur said, "That's a good idea, my lord," and he's like, "Of course it's a good idea. I thought about it."
Snortapoopa says, Trekkers learn to speak by watching Smokey and the Bandit. It's
Well,
not
actually-
now.
Well, actually, Snortapoopas, that is part of the curriculum. But if you think about it, what was a trucker movie before Smokey and the Bandit?
Convoy.
Convoy.
Chris Christopherson.
And that was another one of those movies, that had an epic epic soundtrack to it, because it was the Convoy song.
Mm-hmm.
God, I loved that song when I was a kid. And being in a railroad family, that's not a good thing.
Oh, speaking of railroad, Pudgy found a really neat game on Steam. Pudgy didn't talk to the kobold, to borrow the credit card to go buy it.
Uh-oh.
What
But
game?
it's called The Last Train Home.
Oh.
Oh.
It is a real-time strategy game, and it's one part train simulator and one part real-time strategy. So the premise is, you are part of a legion of forces from Czechoslovakia that were helping the Russians during World War One. And then when at the end of World War One, when things went bad, and the Tsar stepped down, it caused the Civil War in Russia. So you had the
Oh, I
the
remember
Tsar,
that event.
yeah. So you have the Red Army versus the White Army, where the Czechoslovakians are trying to get home. So they steal a train, and they have to get to a port in Russia to sail back home. So it's one part where you have to battle the Russians, and one part you got to keep the train going. And there's a big artillery cannon on the train that you can use to summon to wipe out the Russians. And Pudgy's like, it looks awesome. It's like a historical game. Yes, it's fiction because for obvious reasons they couldn't make it completely true. But
Yeah.
but Pudgy's like, oh boy, this looks really, really neat. So yeah, so Cobot's looking at it. He does the official Pudgy check to see if it's gonna be okay for Pudgy to not only for Pudgy to play the game, but for Pudgy to be able to stream it.
Ah.
Yeah.
And they're
That's
running a
awesome.
sale on it. It's only $20 right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Snort says, but train engineers love to toot. Toot.
Yep.
The Tsar stepped down. Basically, he was forced to. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, and supposedly in the game, there's all these live action cutscenes where the nice developers, because they're based in Czechoslovakia, they yes, it's in English, but there's parts where it's in the native language, and they actually stage mock battles, and there's Red Army forces chasing after the Legionnaires, and they got to make it to the train. They actually got a steam train, that was going through parts of Czechoslovakia, and you can tell it was made also parts in Ukraine before things happened.
Yeah.
All right.
That's very cool.
Of course, it also might have been made in Poland, because if you take a big compass and you draw a circle around Germany, at some point in time, all that area was Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. Complete the quote regarding inherited wealth in England. One day, lad, this will all be yours. What?
It's the huge tracts of land.
No. Complete the quote regarding inherited wealth in England. One day, lad, this will all be yours. And he said, and the answer is what? Blank.
Come on, brain, you know this.
All right.
Let's see. Fandom Outsider says,
Yeah.
Like the laws of physics, how are you firing a huge cannon on a moving train, and how many shots can the train even carry?
well,
They did make some big cannons that could ride
Yeah.
on trains.
well, in the trailer, it shows that the train has stopped and they put bracing around it. So obviously, yes, you could fire the cannon from a moving train, but at the same time, if you're aiming at the building and the train's moving, you'd have to aim the gun in such a way so that whenever you fire it, that the bullet or the cannon shell would land in the right spot, and you're gonna miss, and you're gonna hit the church, and then the priest is gonna come out, and he's like, "Darn you, train cannon!" and then all these nuns start pouring out, and they start chasing after the train, and like, "Go, go, 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 go!" And that's the part where the boiler loses steam pressure because God said, "You shot a church. You gotta go pay the price." And then the train slows down, and that's the reason why you should subscribe to Dalek 451 here on YouTube. Because if you don't subscribe, then the priests are gonna chase after him, and he's gonna be like, "No, don't put me in another one of these crazy Pudgy stories, Pudgy."
Excommunicate! Excommunicate!
The less said about that on YouTube, about where they filmed it, the better, without getting Raymond in trouble. Okay.
FKHC, Pudgy's not completely sure if they did film it in there, because a lot of it was filmed in Czechoslovakia, and if you think about it, the way Poland looks, it kind of looks like Russia as well. So,
All right. Tim got it. What are the curtains?
Yeah.
What's the
Okay.
curtain? What's the curtains? Okay.
FKHC says no. They would send the bishop. Dun, 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 dun. Oh,
Dun,
I
dun.
got here too late.
Yeah, that
Uh,
is true. They split.
Yeah, Czech Republic, Pudgy. Yeah, that's true. It was Czech Republic and Slovakia, and then they merged them together when the Russians were in control, and they turned into Czechoslovakia. And then after many years, they said, "You know what? We want to split back apart," and they're like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah, it was very friendly. Let's see.
Yeah, it wasn't like an angry thing. It was like they got merged together because of things, and then like, yeah, okay, we're and it's not like they were like completely merged together. They were still acting pretty much as two separate countries. The only difference was it was basically just the map.
Yeah.
Although you know what series was also filmed in the Czech Republic, specifically Prague. Carnival
okay.
Row.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a very interesting fantasy show series that was on Amazon. But Pudgy liked the first season was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Second season, and it sort of went haywire. Towards it was the disease that shall not be named, and also it was the writers, because of how much time had to wait before they filmed that second series, they had sort of lost the magic, and plus they knew they were only going to get 2 series to begin with, so it was just like Game of Thrones. They rushed it, and it basically ended.
Mm. All right. Let's see another. Okay. Let's see. Just remember, you're standing on a planet that's evolving and revolving at blank miles an hour.
900 miles an hour.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, the Galaxy song. That's another one. It's the Accountant song and the Galaxy song that make the rounds on all the different music platforms.
All right.
Okay.
And always look on the bright side of life.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
One down, two to go.
Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ah, Tim has seen Eric Idle in concert twice. And Eric, I know this is not Monty Python, but I did like it. I did like the Ruddles. All you need is cash. Yeah. Let's see another.
Pudgy was listening to a silly song. It was some country guy that was also doing like heavy metal, and it was Thunder Cash 69. So it was it's Thunder Cash 69 from White Zombie, but then Johnny Cash, and it was like, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be a good song, and then it's like, oh my goodness, this is kind of awesome. Yeah, he's singing about Folsom Prison with White Zombie in the background, and it wasn't like an AI thing either. Pudgy's like, oh boy.
Wow.
Eric Idle was friends with George Harrison. Yes, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but George Harrison helped produce the Ruddles. All you need is cash. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think he helped with one or the other of the first two Monty movies, Holy Grail and Life of Brian.
Okay.
Was George Harrison in that Caveman movie?
No, that was Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
Ringo Starr. That's another silly movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, snort. Okay, we're going to have to get a vote on this one to see if he goes into the pit or kitty table. A Czech and a Russian went bear hunting but got eaten. When spotted by rangers later, one asked, "Where are they?" Well, the Russian is in the female and the Czech is in the male.
See, I was purposely avoiding that joke.
Oh.
Of course, in mine, the other guy was a Polander, but, whatever works.
Pudgy gets it now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, Life of Brian. Okay.
Yeah, Pudgy was watching a little documentary about Life of Brian, and they filmed it, and then when they tried to distribute it, that's when they ran into all sorts of problems because there were all the movie theaters, both in the United States and in Great Britain, and they were saying it was sacrilegious, and a lot of places would not show that film, or if they did show it, it had to be at midnight, and they rated it as an X rating to ensure that nobody saw it. But then word of mouth started to spread, and eventually it started the trend, and they made a little bit of money on it. The big way that they made their money on that film was whenever they eventually started doing VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you think about it, a lot of those movies, until they got on VHS, and also when HBO and those sort of pay TV channels started going and started showing that stuff, that's when those things really started to take off. Like Evil Dead was an X-rated movie. Rocky Horror was X-rated. Life of Brian was X-rated.
Mm-hmm.
Pudgy's trying to think. Yeah, Pudgy's trying to think what other X-rated movies, and it's not that they were bad. It was just because they didn't know how to classify them.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, that it came fast. More rain.
Oh dear. Yes, we've been getting rain for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
I think it's the last 2 days. No, yesterday was 80 degrees and sunny.
Yeah, Pudgy sees the dark clouds, and then Pudgy immediately, is like, oh no. But but thankfully, while it has been raining, and it has gotten windy, nothing bad's happened. Pudgy still has power. Just 2 days without power is just like, is really, really, really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Ministry of Funny Walks in silhouette.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. All right. What is the first gift requested by the knights who say "me" to pass
A
for the
shrubbery.
rest? Boy.
Roger the Shrubber.
Yeah, first they wanted the shrubbery, and it was really nice. But then the knights who say "nee," they wanted another shrubbery, and then to cut down the mightiest tree in the forest with a herring. And then that's
Wow.
when King Arthur learned that the word that the knights who say "nee" can't stand is "it."
Yeah.
What, it? Ah, you said it again. Ah, I said it. Ah, you said the word we cannot say.
Okay, in the life of Brian, Stan of the People's Front of Judea wanted to be quite different. What did he want to be?
A woman.
Yep.
Ah.
Since we're talking about-
I have a very good friend from home, Rome, by the name of Biggest.
Biggest Richardus. Yes.
Yes. Since we're talking about Monty Python, I have seen Jake's Journey, which was one of the last things Graham Chapman did before his death.
Oh yeah, Chapman was the one that passed away from the original crew.
Yeah.
George Harrison provided the financing for Life of Brian, £3 million, because he wanted to see the movie. Terry Jones says it was the most expensive cinema ticket ever.
Well, if you think about it, he spent $3 million plus, however much money they spent. So let's say $5 million total.
Mhm.
Yes, it didn't do that well in the theaters, mainly because of the boycotts and the misclassification. But back in the 80s, Pudgy remembers what Cobalt told Pudgy. It used to be, it wasn't like that movies had to go after 30 days or 6 days. Sometimes they would they had Bambi, the movie about the deer. It never left the theaters. They just put it off in the one at the end. The one that the seats didn't work, but still, parents took their kids to go see Bambi. Because it was only like $2 or $5. To go see a movie.
Yep.
Back in the days when prices were a lot better.
Mhm.
It took them a while. It wasn't like, okay, we need to make $300 million, within 30 days. The movie's costless to produce. They got more money when from the theaters because the contracts were different.
Yeah.
And eventually, some, it would go away. It would come back. I mean, there's a reason why Howard the Duck never left the movie theaters. For an entire summer. It was a good movie, and B, it was something definitely to go see.
How much is a movie ticket today?
Last time Pudgy looked on the official Pudgy computer, the one place that's run by the Duckies, it's $15 a seat.
Wow.
Oof.
So it's $15 to see the movie, and then if Pudgy wants to get a popcorn, then it's like another $20.
I remember when they were $1.25 for the matinee shows. And you could go in, theater hop, or stay and see the movie if you liked it 6 or 7 times.
Mhm.
See, that's the thing. They've made them so expensive now that
Yeah.
people are like, you know what? I will wait till it comes available home.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get the best scenes on YouTube. So
Yep,
Yeah.
you know.
that's true. Cleese had a few things to say about modern woke nonsense. Yeah, I've heard that. Near me in the Middlesex Mall, they had a midnight showing of Rocky Horror Friday and Saturday from early 80s to mid 90s when the theater closed.
Yeah. That was a big thing. A couple would tell Pudgy all the time that they used to have midnight showings, and it was it would be absolute crazy town. All these fans would show up. They were showing Japanese anime movies from back in the 80s and the 70s, and it was a big party. A lot of people came in drunk. Some people brought beer with them.
Some people came in costume and acted out as the movie is going on.
Yeah, especially with like Rocky Horror.
That actually happened in Wilkes-Barre.
Sweet.
I mean, of all places on earth for people to, get involved with something, Wilkes-Barre, where the hookers wear sensible shoes.
And Mr. Fez is talking about the fishermen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see. Does anyone remember one of the taglines from Hardware Wars? You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $3 goodbye.
No, but it's a good line.
Let's see.
Oh.
Let's see. We basically quoted almost everything from Flying Circus, from Holy Grail, from Life of Brian, from Meaning of Life.
Oh, no, we got one. I love a good meal, especially accompanied by 6 crates of ale. The chef better not skip on the pate, and that waiter had best bring a bucket. Who said that?
That was Mr. Creosote.
Yep, that was Mr. Creosote.
Yeah. Yeah, because I love that introductory line.
Yeah.
Yeah, the introductory line, the waiter asks him, "How are you, sir?" And he says, "Better." The waiter says, "Better? Better get a bucket. I'm going to throw up."
This one should have been first. Complete the quote from a very sickening restaurant scene. Look out, it's Mr.
Creosote.
Yeah. Didn't Fish say that in that scene too?
Yeah, the fishies were talking, after the accountant scene, and then they popped up a couple other times to discuss the nature or the natural order of things. Mm-hmm. And then eventually one of them got taken out of the tank for Mr. Creosote's order.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
What?
I know the one I've never figured out yet. Maybe Dalek can answer this one. In one episode, these space creatures come to England, and 2 people are abducted, or a whole bunch of people are abducted, and it turns out the space creatures are large blancmanges. What in blazes is a blancmange?
What's a blancmange?
I
think
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm not sure how to describe it. I think I think it's basically a dessert that's really it's supposed to be like really it's got. I think it's supposed to have it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like this creamy stuff that has a lot of air in it. So it's really so it's kind of like mousse. I'm thinking. Yeah.
Oh, great! A moose bit my sister.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking dessert mousse. Mousse.
Black mange, a simple dessert made by cooking sweetened milk with cornstarch and vanilla.
All right. So, kind of like whippy cream.
A blanc mange. Okay, blanc is French for white, and mange is French for mange.
Hmm.
So it's white something. So if there's whippy cream in it, it makes sense. Maybe mange is cream, and Pudgy doesn't know. But you know who does know? Dalek knows, because he knows everything. And Dalek is like, you leave my words out, you leave my name out of your mouth, Pudgy.
Oh dear. That's another one.
Well, Mr. Raymond, this show's been a lot of fun, but is it time for... Oh. Mr. Raymond's not here.
Yes, I'm here.
So you know what that means if Mr. Raymond's not here.
It's the Pudgy Show.
Oh, wait, there's Mr. Raymond. Yay!
Let's see. No, it's not ready for show notes. I think we're gonna go probably. I want to get another hour in. Let's see. What? Phantom. I'm surprised. Okay, where's that echoing coming from?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody in there? Just holler if you can hear Pudgy.
I hear Pudgy.
Something, Floyd.
Okay, let's see what this is here. Oh, okay. Here it is. Here is Black Mange. Let's see here. And it looks decadent.
Really?
It looks so decadent. Right, let's see.
Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening to Pudgy.
I know.
Pudgy. To Pudgy. Da, 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 da. Whoa.
Doesn't that look decadent?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Ooh, yum.
That's one of those desserts from the 70s that required a Jello mold.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sandra, can you make that? Oh, she's not there. Darn.
Well,
Hello.
if she can, I'll be on my way down. If she can't, I'll be on my way over to Dalek's house.
Yeah, remember, to get to Dalek's house, you have to make a right turn, drive straight for 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
When you see a white series of cliffs, make a right, make a left, go through London, go through France. Don't look at the ladies' underpants.
I knew that was coming.
Make a left. And then when the nice lady Dalek says, are you here for Dalek 451? And Mr. Fez says, yes. He's like, and Mama Dalek says, honey, what if your crazy American friends are here?
Pink Floyd helped with the Holy Grail? Oh, I did not know that.
Okay, yeah.
Snort. A donor card just means they're willing. Oh, good. A donor card just means they're willing to donate an organ. I don't ask for volunteers. Oh, snort. That's awesome. In the meaning of life, having filled out a donor card entitled some guys to come to harvest the guy's liver, to harvest the guy's liver while he was still using it till he wasn't.
Yep.
Comic says, so jiggly and snort snuffles. Wow.
Yeah, look at that circle on the top.
Oh, yeah. Sandler,
Yeah,
do you think you can make
delicious.
that?
Fortified vanilla pudding.
Yeah. Okay, I guess you can.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. So the
I guess it's more like it's more like jelly than mousse, but it's more creamy than juicy.
Pudding. Why wouldn't I be able to make vanilla?
okay. All right, she can make it. Okay, here I'm hearing everybody start running over here. I see. Snorter, Poop Ass, Pudgy, John, everybody's coming here for Black Marsh.
Alec just updated his passport.
Jiggly just like a busty woman. Oh,
Yes,
huge.
yes.
Yes.
I think there was a whole episode of of those two trying to make blancmange. It was so ridiculous. It was a cup. This old talk of blancmange it's just reminded me of something I watched years ago as a kid. There was an old show on kids TV on children's BBC over here. It was called Chucklevision, and it was by these two guys known as the Chuckle Brothers.
I've heard of them. Never seen them.
Well, it was well, they don't do sadly they don't do it anymore because and sadly one of the brothers has since passed away, which is they're called the names were Paul and Barry. Paul and I think that wasn't their real first name, but supposedly they were known as Paul and Barry Chuckle.
Let's see. The Monty Python sing a song and even convince the guy's wife that everyone is small and insignificant and answer with him asking, so can we have your liver?
Yeah.
And Tim says, basically, the taxes were high in the UK at the time. So they go Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull, and a Mr. Reginald. Okay, so they got Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull, and a Mr. Reginald Kenneth Dwight to help out, and a tax write-off too. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Life's a laugh and death's a joke. It's true. You'll see. It's all a blank. Oh, come on. We've been doing this all evening. Life's a laugh and death's a joke. It's true. You'll see. It's all a blank. Yeah. Okay. Elton John.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that's Elton John?
Yeah. Reginald Dwight.
I had no. Okay, I had no idea that was his real name.
Yep.
Oh yeah, his name's fake. His hair's fake. His glasses are fake.
Yeah. Well, I know that much.
Let's see. Yeah, we know that's the song, but we're missing the blank. It's all blank.
The only thing I can think of that rhymes with joke is coke.
Nope.
Oh boy. What was it again?
Okay.
This is what.
This is from Always Look on the Bright Side.
Oh, this is
of
from
the-
This is from that song, right?
Life's a laugh and life's a laugh and death's a joke. It's true. You'll see it's all blank.
Okay, I feel like I should know this. Oh god, because I have.
Now you know how I feel most of the
I've
time.
heard this song. I feel like I should know it.
Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Bing ding bing ding 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 ding.
The Jeopardy theme.
Mhm.
Yes.
Ah, Tim got it. See, it's all a show. All right.
It's all a show, right?
It's all a
That
show.
doesn't rhyme with joke. Yeah.
From the meaning of life, death came and announced to the members of the dinner party that they were all dead. What killed them?
A salmon moose.
Yep. And one of the guests protested she didn't have any of the moose, but it didn't seem to make a difference. She was dead anyway, and left with the rest for heaven. Da, 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 da.
That's why you should never eat canned salmon.
Ah. Canned salmon, yep. I like salmon.
I don't know. I haven't had salmon. There's something about pink fish I just can't get into.
Ah.
Hmm.
Ba-do, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Bo-dido, ba-da-da-dee-da-da. Let's see.
Well, yeah, because it's Spanish.
Not means.
But I love fish.
Fish is good.
Pounder, cod, haddock. Then we get into my favorites: crabs, and lobsters, and clams, and oysters.
I don't have half of that.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Ah, yeah, halibut too.
Halibut.
Yep.
Salmon is tasty, but usually rather fishy. Oh, you should try. Sandra doesn't like fish,
Oh,
but Fez has canned. But Fez has canned spam.
Toro Mosalata.
EMI withdrawing their funding for Monty Python's Life of Brian. George Harrison financing the movie for £4 million. Taro Mosalata.
Hang on a minute. George Harrison financing the movie for £4 million. Because let's see. Because I wanted to see the movie.
Yep, because I wanted to see the movie. There it is. Yeah.
Chicken. Chicken! What are you gonna do? Bleed on me? I'm invincible! Have at me! I have your leg.
Now what you gonna do? Okay.
Tis but a scratch.
Yeah.
It's a flesh wound.
Mm-hmm.
The bear likes clams, oysters, scallops, mussel. The bear likes clams, oysters, scallops, mussels, crabs, lobsters, shrimp, prawns, and humans. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we're included into that, huh?
But we're not shellfish.
Yeah, we're not.
We're very generous.
Yeah. I keep smoked salmon in the fridge for snacking. Yum. Bagels and lox. Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah.
Chris, that's the question that Pudgy has. Okay, Pudgy can understand the bagel.
Yeah.
Why is the salmon and cream cheese known as a lock?
No, you just asked an impossible Raymond question.
Ah.
Oh, let me go to my trusty assistant here. Unless somebody in the chat can figure it out.
Sandra!
Wikipedia.
Well, Sandra doesn't like fish, so she's no help. No, it's not the cream cheese. Lox is a fillet of brined salmon, which may be smoked. So the cream cheese is the condiment.
Oh. Okay.
So
Lox is the salmon.
Pudgy likes
Well,
butter.
Mm.
Yeah, butter on the bagel. That's good.
Yep.
Although Pudgy was watching the video, someone made a peanut butter and jelly cake, and Pudgy's like, "Oh, Pudgy wants to try this now." Yeah, it was yellow cake mix, and you bake the cake as normal, but after it comes out, you poke a whole bunch of holes in it, and then you put jelly in all the holes, and you smear it with peanut butter on top, and then you cook it again, and it melts into the cake.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Pudgy was also watching the YouTube's a wonderful thing because then it switches to the cowboy casserole. So you get a bundt cake pan, and instead of you don't spray the nonstick into it. You put a whole pack of little smokies in the bottom of it, and then it was salsa and cheddar cheese, and then Jiffy cornbread mix on top of it. But he also put in a can of creamed corn as well because he said that you need to make it needed it to add some additional moisture.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bake it all, and then you flip it upside down, and you hit the pan, and when it comes out, all the little smokies are up on top, and they're glistening, because as they cook, the oil and the fat comes out and crystallizes and makes them all crispy. And Pudgy's like, Cobalt, can we go to the Italian Bear Bakery and get some stuff? And Cobalt's like, and you want to buy a new game, and you want to do this, and Mr. Fizz looks over to the right, and then
checking the weather. And turning on the
and Dollar's just happy he's not part of this story.
Yeah.
Getting a little chilly here.
Oh, well, this is the latest weather forecast at Dolphin Land.
There's a 75% chance of fish.
Mm.
Come on.
That's right. We're having tuna casserole tonight, Mother says.
Ooh,
Oh, jeez. Are you in the yellow area?
I'm north of there.
And I am in the yellow area. In fact, I think that one of the lightning bolt. You see the green. You see the green with a lightning bolt up just above the word Winchester.
Pudgy knows where Winchester is.
Yep, we are. We've got the green with the lightning.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, Mr. Raymond, have you ever been in Winchester?
Oh yeah, we go to Winchester all the time.
All right, there used to be a restaurant there. It was Johnny Appleseed's. Is it still open?
I have heard of it. Sandra, have you? Johnny Appleseed?
Okay. It's a funny story that Cobalt told Pudgy, and one time we actually went there and Pudgy verified it. All right, so it has chicken fried steak.
Uh-huh.
And so Pudgy's like, Cobalt, there's no chicken in this. And he's like, no, it's just it's a fried steak. You know, they batter dip it.
Uh-huh.
So, but Cobalt told Pudgy, don't get it. It's bad. And Pudgy's like, it can't be bad. Chicken fried steak is yummy. You know, and Pudgy asked for the children's portion because, you know, it's even children portion. It's children human. You know, Pudgy's just a little hedgehog. So this giant piece of steak comes out, and Cobalt said, it's bad. I told you not to get it. It was tougher than shoe leather. It's the type of chicken fried steak that you eat the yummy bread coating from the outside, and then you get and then you can whip it against the wall, and it will bounce. But the mashed potatoes were yummy. So Pudgy had chicken fried outer coating. Cobalt told Pudgy it was bad, and then when we asked for dessert, they said we're all out. And Pudgy's like, what? What do you mean you're all out? This is an Apple. Wait, back in 2016 it closed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, gee, no wonder they didn't have apple pie. They didn't have any apple fritters or any other apple desserts.
Yeah.
And Phantom Outsider says, blessed are the cheesemakers. Obviously, they made those that handled daily in general. Maybe handled dairy in general.
Snorter Pooper says, weather forecast for tonight, dark. Continue dark overnight, with widely scattered light by morning.
He's honest.
The weather in Pennsylvania is simple. Whenever you go to bed, it's dark. When you wake up, it's gray. When you get to midday, it's less gray. When you get to evening, it's gray. And it's that way for 6 to 8 months straight.
Yep.
Eventually, one day, the strange blue sky will appear. And there might even be a round white thingy glowing and sending warmth throughout the area.
Yes.
Pudgy's been told it's known as the sun.
Yep.
And Sora Poopa says, I like chicken fried steak the way it's served in Texas. The beef wasn't tough and the gravy was creamy. Oh, yeah. Now, here's the big question, Snore the Poopus, and everyone else out there in chat land. All right, so if you just an actual good chicken fried steak, because a lot of people, they make it completely wrong. But if it's actually soft and munchy and tastes really good, all right, and you get the mashed potatoes with it, do you go for A, the chicken gravy, B, the beef gravy, or C, the sawmill gravy? You know, the white gravy with the sausage in it.
Well,
Good.
I can't have the sawmill because of the sausage, but so I would have to say the chicken gravy.
It depends on the application, because like if you get chicken fried steak and eggs, it's usually the sawmill gravy with a sausage on top. But but other places, it depends on the restaurant. A lot of places it's the beef gravy, other places it's the chicken gravy. Although the one place Pudgy went, Pudgy asked for gravy, and they said, "We don't have that." And Pudgy's like, what do you mean? And they said, "Well, not to worry. We have a good replacement." And they put clarified butter and garlic on it. And Pudgy's like,
Ooh.
it didn't sound right, but it tasted really good.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Nice.
Just clarified butter. You cook the butter, and then whenever it starts to separate, and you have to have the solids, you skim off the solids. You don't get rid of the solids. You use that for other stuff. But
Yeah.
but then you just have it's like clear butter. How do you think it's called? GHEE. You can fry stuff in it. It basically turn butter into oil. So there's a higher temperature. And Snorri Poopa says white gravy. Yeah, you can also get the chicken fried steak without the sausage in it. It'd just be the white gravy.
Mm-hmm. Phantom says, "Yeah, of course the polar bear wants white gravy." And Max says, "Gee."
Yeah, gee. We are the knights who say, "Gee, gee." Out of all the crazy things that the Great British Baking Show did over the years, and yes, Pudgy knows that show, and then we'll hear Dialect go, but Pudgy's surprised that they never did a Monty Python episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had the Knights Who Say Knee show up and like, "Gee,
Do you mean
gee,
the-
gee."
Are you talking about the Great British Bake Off?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, God. I can't
So
stand
I
that
went out
show.
there. That came right after Coronation Street, right?
That sounds.
Okay,
I don't
the first two seasons of that show, Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry, and it was fun and it was interesting, and they really should have stopped it too. But it's one of those things. It's just like The Masked Singer. It's on television all the time, and now they got these other guys on it, and they're
Got
really
that right.
annoying.
Sue Perkins, if she's still doing it.
Wasn't the one guy from Doctor Who on it? The bald guy.
Which bald? It wasn't a.
Remember the bald guy was with Capaldi?
Him.
Yeah, him.
What was his name? Tim Hitchens? No, that wasn't Tim Hitchens. What was his name? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was on there for a while, and there was some guy with long black hair, and they're speaking breathlessly and endlessly about baking bread. And Pudgy's like, "Oh, come on! It doesn't take this long to bake bread." Pudgy's got a wood stove, and Pudgy's a little hedgehog, in the forest of Pennsylvania. It doesn't take 4 hours to bake bread. And Pudgy doesn't need the expert commentary of Paul Hollywood to talk about crumb structure. Pudgy's like, if Pudgy didn't bake it right, it doesn't taste good. Pudgy's still gonna eat it because Pudgy only has so many materials.
We're inundated
and that's why you need the butter.
Yeah.
So
And
Pudgy goes over to the meadow, asks Mrs. Cow, "Mrs. Cow, can Pudgy have some milk?" And Mrs. Cow's like, "Okay, Pudgy, you can have some milk, just be gentle." And then Pudgy has to use the thingy, and Pudgy doesn't look at the thingy because Pudgy doesn't want to get in trouble and get some milk, squirt, 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 and then take it back to Pudgy's house. And then Pudgy has to make the shaky butter, shaky, 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 shaky. And after 4 to 12 hours, Pudgy has butter, and Pudgy's like, "Why did Pudgy go through all these steps to get butter? Why?" And then Cobalt's like, "You should have said something. We could get butter from the Italian bear place." Mr. Raymond, you had a comment on the stream.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We lost
What?
Mr. Raymond.
No,
We
I'm
lost
here.
Mr. Raymond again. So you know
I'm
what that
here.
means?
Can you hear me?
We now talk
Yes.
about Star Trek.
Uh, wait, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we can hear you.
We can, yeah.
Okay, because I was there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Phantom
Pudgy, what-
Outsider.
Pudgy went on a tangent. Go.
Looked it up. The Johnny Appleseed in Newmarket, Virginia, closed way back in March 2016. How old is Pudgy? Seems he's not quite so young as we were led to believe. Dun dun dun.
Well,
Young at heart.
remember Phantom Outsider, Pudgy is a little hedgehog. Pudgy also is telling stories that Cobalt told Pudgy, and also the restaurant that Pudgy went to might not have even been Johnny Appleseed's. Pudgy just remembers the silly story that Cobalt told Pudgy about the bouncy rubber chicken fried steak.
Okay.
So Pudgy could be wrong, or Pudgy could be right. It depends.
It's on the
Yes.
perspective. It's on the perspective.
Yeah.
No one makes good chicken fried steak. Everyone sells country fried steak, brown gravy. It's okay, but not quite right.
Yeah, see, there's a version of that everywhere.
Uh-huh. There's something off about white gravy on mashed potatoes. Oh, we have white gravy. We have white gravy. So Pudgy is Pudgy like Bart Simpson. Bart's 10 and has been 10 since 1989. Yeah, they're caught in a time warp. Doing the time warp again.
Did you see that one Simpsons episode where the clock actually moved forward? And he was gonna have his 11th birthday, but it turned out to just be a fake.
Oh no.
Everyone thought that was the final episode because the way they marketed it, but it's also a test case. Fox was trying to see the reaction of what would happen if The Simpsons actually did end,
Wow.
and they were able to juice the ratings for that episode because everyone thought it was the final Simpsons, and turns out no, there's still like another 10 to 15 episodes to go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's still not over.
No.
It's still chugging.
Right.
Let's see. Nope.
Yeah, just
FKHC. I
Yeah,
could not.
I couldn't care less
Hold
about the Simpsons anymore, which is a real shame because when I was younger, I loved the Simpsons. I was a big fan of it. I watched it all the time. But
Yeah.
now it's just
Yeah, it started getting too preachy. Like MASH.
no, it's
Mhm.
no, it's not it's not no, I would for me it's not that it's preachy, it's that it's boring.
Yeah,
Well, there's
that's the
that
big
too.
It's just boring now.
that's
Yeah.
the thing, guy. Like they have run out of all ideas. It just needs to end.
Yeah,
And they
don't
have good writers.
Exact. You're 100% right, Pudgy. It needs to end already.
And
Yeah.
and if they really wanted to, they know how to end it. The Seinfeld ending. The
Oh.
last episode of Seinfeld, what happened? They got arrested. And they're in jail. And they said, do you remember that time? And it basically set up the time loop.
Mhm.
So it would be very simple to do a Seinfeld type ending, and then just point back to the original episode for The Simpsons. And it turns out that they were just telling stories this entire time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's still 1989. The family is still together. Homer is still a buffoon, but still apparently the husband and father, that he was portrayed to be back in that time. Because now Homer is just a character. He's not even like the dad anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back in like when the Simpsons first started in '89 and like for the early '90s at least, Homer actually was. Yes, he was an idiot. Yes, he was a buffoon, but he was still he generally was trying his best to be a good husband and father to his family, but nowadays he's just a jerk. He's just a jerk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's just
Okay, Tim sent me. Yeah, Snort says the Simpsons is tired and needs a nice long nap.
They already had an option to end it. They did the Simpsons movie.
Mhm.
yeah. They
And-
should have
and that
ended it
would've been-
there.
That would have been a perfect way to end it, but no, they're keeping it going.
Ah. Let's see.
And another show that they still keep going that Pudgy has no idea how. Bob's Burgers.
Ugh.
It's not a good show. How? How does it keep getting new episodes greenlit?
I've barely seen anything of Bob's Burgers, but what I have seen of it. It just seems to be it's the dullest thing ever. I mean, everyone. I mean, the animation is ugly, and the way they all talk is so so dull and monotonous. They never smile. It's like, what's supposed to be funny about this?
Yeah.
And when everyone's just depressed all the time.
Hmm.
The only thing that Pudgy can think of, you have Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, American Dad, Family Guy. Those are the 4 shows that actually are new content for Fox. Because if you think about all the other stuff that they supposedly have, it's a lot of the same thing. Oh, fire drama. Oh, police drama. If you take all that, if you end all those episodes for the actual quote unquote new stuff, then basically all Fox has is sports. And yes, there's an audience for sports, but for people that don't want to watch sports, they have to have something too. So if they get rid of shut down these shows, the people are going to wander off.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, Snort Poopa says Family Guy needs a rest too. Yeah, that's another show.
Yeah, absolutely. It does.
Bring back Futurama.
Well, they did on Hulu.
They already did bring it back twice.
On Hulu,
Oh, yeah, I knew about that in the 10 years ago, but
Yeah, it's on Hulu. Yeah, it's on.
But,
didn't you know that, Fez? There were 2 very recent seasons of Futurama.
in the last few years,
Yeah,
no
it's
kidding.
on Hulu.
No,
It's
I
on
didn't
Hulu.
know that.
It's on Disney Plus over here.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
they brought Animaniacs back for 2 seasons. Pudgy watched the first one, and Pudgy's like, it's not as good as the original. Pudgy's going back to watch the original.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's Monty Python lives there.
Ah. Wow.
And let's see. Oh, and this is the script for Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
Chris, that whole bit was
Another thing about
scripted out 1 page, and then and then they basically just ad-libbed.
Mhm.
one last thing I gotta say about. And I know you've moved the conversation on, but last thing I gotta say about them needing to end The Simpsons is another very good reason. Let the actors retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Especially some of some of the voice actors in The Simpsons. I mean, have you heard some of their voices are getting really, especially the actress of voice is Marge. I mean, have you heard her voice in recent episodes? She sounds awful. It's like her throat is like a dried out husk, and she just sounds really bad especially when compared to the early episodes. She needs to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She needs to.
Very sure is 81.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, doesn't Harry Shearer do the voice of Homer?
Yes.
Okay, so if
No.
he were,
That was
No,
no. Dan Castellaneta voices Homer.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Harry Shearer did a whole lot of voices, including
Yeah.
Apu.
Yeah, Harry Shearer. I think he voices he voices Apu. He voices Principal Skinner. He voices Dr. Hibbert. I think.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Phantom Outsider says there's a Married with Children animated series in production with the original cast is doing voice work is way easier than live action and pays almost as well as these days, especially for known IP. Yeah,
Yeah.
Haji heard that. They were also trying to make a live action, but it was going to be sort of a little bit different, and the live action version is sort of in limbo right now. Yeah, Julie Kavner is going to be 75.
Yeah. No, I agree. They need to. Yeah.
That's that lady's pretty normal speaking voice. If you ever saw Rhoda, she was Rhoda's sister Brenda. And I thought, oh, really?
yeah.
And Tim says the issue would be Christina Applegate's health issues. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very sad.
Yeah. All right. I think.
Is it time for?
Yeah, I just yes, it is time for. I just want to see if there's any more. There's a script. Okay, that's more of the Spanish Inquisition.
It's time for Snore the Poopus. It's time for Snore the Poopus. That's wrong song.
Let's see. Anything? Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time. Let's see. All right. Now.
Always look on the bright side of King Dolphin. Did it?
Yes.
Did it?
King Dolphin, yeah. Let's see. Go to here. And hope that show notes doesn't blow up my side of the stream.
It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. Yeah, with Mr. Raven and Sandra too. It's time for show notes. We're bringing it on. It's time for show notes. You've all been warned. It's time for show notes.
Hey.
Yay! All right. On the 7th. Okay. Oh no. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
On the 7th, on Wednesday, is the next Mr. Raymond show.
Yes, and that is. Wait, I want to get mute. Let me.
You turned Mr. Raymond into a newt. You got better.
Yes, let's see here. Okay. All right, that's ready. Okay. On the 7th, we will have the Not Ready for Pod Time players doing the next installment of All's Fair, a Dolphin Wars novel.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh. Yep. On the 10th, we will have our Just Cuz regular Just Cuz, and Just Cuz will be on every Saturday for May, and I'm working on some interviews for the rest of May. So stay tuned. Check out the check out when we do the stream. So that is a very short Just Cuz. All right. Snorty Pooper said the Betty by time for a bear. Yeah, we're wrapping up. Let's see. And Snorty Pooper says, take care, every human, dolphin, doggo, Dalek, ferret, eagle, hedgehog, and newt. A wholly TM, a wholly owned subsidiary of the DolphinWars.com. All right, let's see what a newt is.
And a picture of Newt Gingrich comes up.
Well, there's a newt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of cute if you like lizards or salamanders.
Yeah.
Now we know what are inside Cybermen.
All right. So we will start wrapping this up. I'm trying to dig up George Washington for an interview, but he says he's just dead. Oh, nice try, Snort. That would have been cool getting George on. Anybody else hearing the echo?
Nope.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Nah.
it comes and goes.
All right. Well, it's the ghost of show notes.
Ah,
All right. So, we have talked all about, we started talking about weather and bad weather and power outages. We've gone into Monty Python. Let's see. Snort says, I'm a bad bear. Let's I'm a bear. No, you're a good bear. You are a good bear, Snort.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, good bears get fishies, bad bears get marmalade.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And somewhere Carla's laughing at that joke.
mhm.
Okay, and Phantom Outsider. Only Warp 10 would turn you into a newt. Not true. And here is the link for a petition to restore public domain to the original 56-year rule. And I'm going to
Yeah.
put it out to the link. And here it is. So
Wasn't there something going on in a little while back about trying to wind that back?
yeah,
How did that turn out?
evidently not too good. I guess that's why there's a petition now.
Yeah, basically, all the powers that be, the big IP holders, they fought back and they want to keep the 95 years. Although,
Of course.
now that Mickey Mouse, the original Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse, has been released to public domain, there's all sorts of Steamboat Willie style Mickey Mouses that are starting to go through the various channels. There's a video game that's coming out sometime this year. It's called Mouse PI Detective. It's Steamboat Willie. It's black and white 1920 style cartoon world, and it's a first person shooter. But there's a way that you can activate Berserker Rage mode, and you pick up a can of spinach, pop the top, eat the spinach, and then you can start ripping cartoon mice apart. And Pudgy can't wait to see it. It looks just like Cuphead, but it's in black and white. But it's because of the lifting of that Steamboat Willie copyright. And then plus there's also a Steamboat Willie. There's a Steamboat Willie horror movie that's working its way through production right now, just like when Winnie the Pooh entered public domain.
They already did that. A Mickey horror movie after that happened.
Yeah,
Was Rachel Ziegler in it?
No.
No, they needed to be able to release it in the theaters. You put Rachel Ziegler in it, it turns into an X rating. They have to do it at midnight.
Gotta love it.
The issue would be, would you grandfather it all in? Phantom says, what in? I personally say bring all the older stuff into the public domain slowly, maybe every 5 years or so. Okay.
Boy, Pudgy wonders when Popeye will enter the public domain.
I was about to mention that. I think Popeye already is public domain.
Oh.
Hmm. Wow.
As Pudgy remembers the Popeye movie from the 80s that Cobalt showed Pudgy, and George Carlin was in it. Halt butt.
Hmm.
Pudgy can't say the word that was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
But back to Mr. Raymond for the official show closing.
Yep. All right. Oh, I am glad everybody came or visited, and we talked about bad weather, power outages with Agent Pepsi 1 and Wendy. We had a good Monty Python discussion and went off into some trails with of other pop culture movie stuff. We got a lot of a great Pudgy update on Friendship Town and everything that's been going on there. And so it's been a great show. I enjoyed it tonight. So let's see. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. And let's start with the shout outs. We had I know Cobalt Bald Eagle is in the background. Cobalt, thank you for being here.
Cobalt's waving. He's currently up in a tree.
Okay.
Is it a good thing if Pudgy sees blue sparkles?
Blue sparkles?
Oh, wait a minute. He's holding an electrical line. Yeah, we should probably wrap up the show so Pudgy can go check.
We had a newcomer, Jason Love. Thank you for being here. I hope you subscribed. We had Phantom Outsider. We had Swift -1. And now the amazing Lighthouse Corps. We had our producer, Sandra, here. We had the official dog of, you got to see this. We had the official dog of King Dolphin TV. Settings up, go to virtual background. Let's go here.
Oh, no, there's the foot.
And let's see. There he is.
Where? I don't see him.
Right there.
Oh, he's on the left, above the K.
Yep.
Yeah. He's above the
right.
K. Yeah, he's sleeping.
Oh,
It's a 30-watt power outage.
Yeah. Let's see. So there he is. So we have the official dog. Agent Pepsi 1 came on until she lost power. We had FKHC 2005, Legatus Legionii. We had Max Redstone. We had the Comic Relief Crusader. Snort says, Hail the Trike.
Hail Trike.
Hail Trike. And Snort's asking, is Cobalt flying a kite during a storm again?
It's something to do with the water, Will.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
Uh-oh. And of course, we got Snort Poopas! Q-Bar. Great show. Great show. As always, Snort, you carried it. Also, you too, Trike. You guys have a great show. See you next Wednesday. All right. Okay. We have. Let's see. Let's see. I said Sandra Trike. Oh, we also had Wendy Webb, who is also without power. So.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. She's been without power for a while too. So she went to her parents' house, to her mom's house to to be with power. So we had FK, Legatus, Max, Snort, Comet. So everybody's so so now it is everybody here. John, thank you for being a co-host and thank you for being here.
My pleasure. And sorry I was late. We're just loading things up, getting them out of the house.
Okay.
Good show, man.
All right. See you next week.
Yep.
Sorry. Pudgy, thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invitation, Mr. Raymond. Pudgy had lots and lots of fun. Yay!
Yeah, always have. What's up on your channel next?
Next Pudgy's stream on Twitch is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pudgy's going to be playing Vintage Story, which is Minecraft on Nightmare Mode. And over on the Pudgy Adventures YouTube page, and thank you for the shout out, Mr. Raymond. The next official Pudgy chapter for Lord of Terror should be coming out on Monday. Pudgy experimented again with different tags on that video, so the last chapter didn't do so well, but that's okay because they, some people they wait for a couple episodes to load before before watching it, and also you might have noticed that Pudgy's podcast format changed, so. When Pudgy built the original playlist and set them up as podcasts, so like one for each series, YouTube deprioritized the podcast because they instead of Pudgy having one podcast, YouTube thought Pudgy had 12. So that's the reason why Pudgy with Cobalt helped Pudgy do it. But we merged them all back into one podcast and set them up in episode format. So now it's actually starting to promote properly. So Pudgy has the official Storytime podcast, and that seems to have fixed the view count and also the viewer retention issues. But there's another thing that we are gonna do. But we're not going to start it until until Christmas Catastrophe, which is the next series. And specifically, when we were looking at the user metrics, basically, people only watch the story for a short period of time. Now, eventually, they go back to listen to the rest of it. So Pudgy's we're talking about shortening the videos and making the stories shorter. Now that means, Pudgy's not going to cut anything. It just means that instead of releasing one 20-minute, Pudgy might release like either 4 or 5 minute or 2 10-minute stories. So that might work better. And as soon as Pudgy knows, Pudgy let Mr. Raymond know.
All right, sounds good. And Dalek, thank you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure as always, Raymond.
What is your channel up to? I know it's back up and well deserved.
Yes, well, I'm hoping to be able to do some more game streams soon, and just over the weekend or a couple of days ago, I had an idea for a live stream I could do because there's an episode. It's as of this year, it's now been 20 years since Doctor Who officially came back to our screens, and on the 30th of April, that was the 20th anniversary of an episode which I've one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes of all time. And which is what really cemented my love and passion for Doctor Who. And I had the idea maybe I could do a live stream talking about that particular episode.
Cool.
All right, and here's your channel.
All right, thank
All
you,
right.
Raymond.
You're welcome. All right,
And if anyone's on Twitch, you can follow me on Twitch as well. If you can find me there, I'm actually called Emperor Dalek 451 over on Twitch.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I think that is it. And so I hope everybody has a safe, weather-free weekend. And I hope everybody gets to keep their power. Stay safe, stay happy. We will see you on Wednesday for All's Fair, a Dolphin Wars novel. Please watch the channel. I've added all the Just Cuz episodes into the Just Cuz playlist. So you can go back and listen to the chaos from way back when in King Dolphin Land. So take care, everybody. I love you all. And have a great week, guys. Stick around after this. And let's keep making waves. And I love you guys. And see you Wednesday.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for
Good night.
coming.